So pure, you are my everything and more. So sweet, like honey, your lips, girl, I adore. And baby, that body's more than perfect, the best I ever saw. And I ain't even close to done, it's just the beginning, so let me tell you first we was. In my bed, baby, you was loving my love and I had you going crazy. Oh, it was your body that I had to try. Told you my touch gives you a rush that you can't deny. Girl, I got this feeling, stronger than Marvin gets sexual healing. So let me give it to you and only you, cause you're that special. Know that you
Good evening and welcome to Cigar Sundays. I am Chef Earl Pearl at DBCHEFTV across all social media platforms, always joined by the illustrious Cigarden Panel with at I am Jazz Garcelle and the God Ali Dawood L at BK Soul Farms. Peace, family, on this Sunday evening. How you feeling?
Peace, power, and profit. Peace, God. Yo, everything is good, man. Yo, I'm feeling super duper productive as always, man. Like, it feels good, right? Because it's a different kind of tiredness when you're working towards your goals and you're actually achieving them. And like when they measurable and attainable, right, and reasonable, right? Like it feels real good to see things work, man. So I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling real productive.
Absolutely. That's amazing. As always, we gonna send some prayers out to at I am Jazz Garcelle.
Definitely get better, sis. We need you back.
For sure, like we always do. And man, trying to get these little specs clean up these so I can see what's going on. Yeah. And man, we got a great show for everybody tuned in this evening. We talking about communication.
Communication, word.
To save the nation.
That's important.
And man, go ahead.
Nah, definitely misunderstood.
It's definitely misunderstood. We just go fast forward. It's understood. It's misunderstood.
Fast forward, misunderstood. I think everybody talking, right? And we think because we got opinions that we got the right to speak, right? We say things like my truth and feel validation and righteousness in the word truth and forget that it's just mine, right? So I should probably keep it to myself, right? But now we can get into it, bro. Like I'm definitely it's misunderstood. We don't understand what the purpose of communication is, how important it is, and because if we did, we'd be doing a whole lot better, right? It'll either be a lot more fights or a lot less fights, right?
Right. Well, we do see a happy balance of poor communication and effective communication.
Yeah.
We definitely see a lot of examples of that in society all the time. Maybe even sometimes in our own personal experiences. So the first area we wanted to go to is bad. We wanted to look at the bad communication. And what could be some examples of bad communication. I didn't want us to just go from just on like just verbal, like personal interaction, but like all that.
Yeah.
So we could have music, You know, there could be some bad communication within music.
Yeah, definitely.
So we could start there. We could start with the bad. We're gonna go on bad, then we're gonna go on good, then we're gonna go on misunderstood. So the view, so everybody who watch it can follow along. So right now we going on the bad. First thing, music. Like,
So for me, like arts and stuff like that is kind of crazy because it's subjective. But if I was to judge it as far as good communication or bad communication, I would say uh, a artist singing about being single and having a loose box is bad communication if they are happily married or in a relationship and tight with their pocketbook. I think that's bad communication. I think that they putting out a message that they don't live, promote, only are using to make money, but not saying that. I would say that would be bad communication because arts is kind of funny to me. Like it's because like artists is like I'm sensitive about my stuff, so it's like as the viewer I can see what I want to see, but you could have had a whole nother intention as the painter.
right as the presenter, I get that. Yeah, yeah, and a lot of artists, I've seen that in interviews online um, where some artists have openly admitted to where they don't do the things that they promote. They don't live the way
At
that
all.
that they with the images that they project, with the way they communicate with
Yeah.
their audience. They don't live that life. That's not their actual practice in life outside of their entertainment. Um,
They only keep it real on stage.
they only keep it real on stage. They only keep it real on stage.
All right,
Yeah.
because if everybody playing golf and doing family things and not getting it out the mud, then we lying. And so that means the community must want the lie. They want to leave their reality world. It's kind of like a drug, right? You want to leave your reality and escape into Pearl's fantasy land, right? Pearl gonna be on a jet. You're gonna have mad baddies around you. I want to, yeah, that's a great video. I want to be in that video, but I'm sitting on my couch watching it. Like that's super corny. Um, but but that's what I'm saying. Like it's the artist thing is kind of funny. I think it's super irresponsible though if they're not living a life. Like Amy Winehouse type person who I saw a preview today for her movie coming up, and they alluded to the fact that how she wanted to live her music to be real, I guess. And
Okay.
I guess I don't know much about her music or anything about that, so forgive me if y'all fans and love her, right?
Right.
uh, so I guess that has something to do with drugs and being depressed and whatever, and that's wound up how she wound up going out. And and what was crazy to me because I'm looking at that and I see fans being at her show, seeing her drugged out and out of her mind, giving her support, singing her songs for her and with her, and championing that state of mind,
Mm-hmm.
promoting her demise, right? Because they seeing it happen in front of them, and in fact, they're hoping that she put out another banging album of this,
Absolutely. Yeah.
so that they can put it on their way to work, be depressed on their way to work, put on a happy face when they get to work, when they leave work, get all sad again, and because Amy keeps it real. Right? I thought it was kind of sad, bro. It's like I don't know what the messaging is. I don't know if we really don't want to be happy, right? Because if I love a artist, if I love somebody and they doing something, and I see something that's hurting them, I don't want to support their demise. I want to support their upliftment. You know, I would stop going to somebody's show that is using this money to hurt themselves.
I get that. Yeah, I understand that. As an artist, though, I think artists really, I mean, fans really don't have that. They don't have that perspective. It's not. It's not even. That's a great insight. But I don't think any listener of music as a fan, I don't think.
That's what I'm saying. I
I
said
don't think.
fans, right?
Yeah, like I don't think anybody has ever, you know, thought that that was an ability that they had within their support of to an artist of being a fan. Because that is something that's a different that's a different level of consciousness where you like, I want you to be around to make the music.
Yeah,
You
right.
know,
Like get better.
yeah. I don't want to, I don't want to contribute to your demise, and my actions would be reflective of that if I keep giving you the money and I'm saying I'm just singing along, like, yeah, everybody going whatever Amy Winehouse was. I know she didn't want to go to rehab, you know.
Yeah, she had a whole song about that, right? I don't want to go to rehab or something like that. Yeah,
Yeah, I know she
yeah,
had that song, and that was a pretty big song. But
correct.
but then when we look at like, okay, great song, nothing against Amy Winehouse, but then when we look at like the way addiction is, having family members, myself have dealt with addiction and things like that. Those songs, no matter how good they are, don't encourage people to deter from
That's
that type of lifestyle or behavior.
so now so Amy Winehouse, turns out to be a perfect example of, because I was struggling with how could music and communication be bad or good or misunderstood, and I think like her case in point is perfect, right? Because it wound up literally killing her,
Yeah,
right? Right, and her fans, you would hope her fans are not trying to kill themselves as well, right? But
yeah, we don't know the level of that communication within the transmission of that song, and how we
that whole
all,
vibe, yeah,
yeah, because we all are affected. I got music that I listen to that put
yeah,
me in moods, you know
definitely,
um
definitely.
and then I have stuff that I listen to that's just where they all put me in moods. That everything is a mood. Everything, if I'm listening to something, because I really don't do noise, you know so when I'm listening, because I don't listen to music all the time. So when I'm listening to music, I'm doing stuff.
Yo, noise is a good word, bro, because we don't get to it. Because that's what people are doing more times than not. When they think they're communicating, they're just making noise, right? And it becomes a shouting match, and whoever's loudest or whoever can articulate the best wins, right? And it was just noise.
Right. And that could be a bad or a misunderstood part of communication.
Nah, noise is bad.
Noise
Always
is
bad. Yeah, noise is, uh, unless you just testing for sound.
bad. You said unless you just tested for sound.
Right? Like if you just like if we just tested for reality, then I can accept noise. But in realism ism, noise is always bad, bro, because you can't distinct or discern anything from that.
That's what we talking about. That's right. That's
Right. And we want to know which way to go. We want to know how to navigate, and with clear communication, right? in order for it to be real communication, it has to be clear.
Right.
And these are just things that we have to accept, right? We got to accept that we don't understand all these words that we're using, and we have to have consideration that, for that, and do better, right? Because
That's the plan.
yeah, music, bro. Yeah, so music is definitely putting out bad communication because a lot of these cats are not living their life, living that lifestyle
For the most part, right?
for the most part.
We would say today's music, what we dealing with today,
Correct.
definitely
Correct.
we would not agree that that's good communication at all.
Correct.
And especially when we see the effects of the young people, and how they emulate and they imitating these things, and not really aspiring to be the entrepreneurs of of that, but
Nah, they
more
want that.
so trying to do the stuff that they talking about that they used to do
Yeah.
before they became these entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
that
And
that
that's the thing. That's why it makes it bad communication because I guess as an artist, right? I would imagine you would be inspired by your surroundings and you would paint what you see or how what you see or what's around you make you feel. But as you grow in your art and you gain success in your craft, your environment changes. So how you stay stuck on the grind, right? Like it's almost like these cats never grow up, and they always. It's almost like they never accept the win, right? Like they always hustling. Is always a drug song. Is always some kind of pimping, or some kind of gang related something, right? And I'm like, yeah, but you ain't doing that, right? Like you don't even hang around the cats that's doing that
like
for real.
you don't want your sons, you don't want your sons doing that, you don't
Like
want your daughters doing that.
at all, right? Like you ain't doing that, right? Like, and I know because like growing up, fam, like you remember like the cats on the block, like the real killers, like when they saw the youth or somebody that they wanted to steer clear, like they would actually like, nah, get out of here.
Absolutely. Go play ball.
Go play ball, go do something else, right? Like get out of here. Like not you. Like you got your mother and your father. Like get out of here.
Yeah.
Right? And
Word. They be like that. Go play ball, go do something else. Go be an astronaut.
go be an astronaut.
Go be a rocket scientist. you know.
Now they do be supporting your dreams though, for real, right? And if they don't support, they give you one. Go be an astronaut,
Yeah.
right? Like get out of here with that. And so yeah, so I don't know, man. That's I don't know. Yeah, the music is definitely bad communication. It's not even misunderstood. It's just bad.
So we did have a time when music did have some good communication. And I
Yeah,
think that was when we had R&B, when we had a lot of R&B music, um,
yeah,
early 90s when we had, a variety, not so much just everything is the same,
yeah.
or or the goals are the same in every song.
I think you had back then. You also had grown folks music, um, and not so much kid music, but it was a distinction, I guess, right? Like, granted, they would the music would be played at the same party for the most part, but you had a Teddy Pendergrass, Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes crowd, but then you had Boys to Men
Right.
crowd. Like 9 times out of 10, that music can be played at the same spot, but those are two different thought processes, right? Of sound, right? So yeah, it was definitely, and now everything is, I would say, I wouldn't even call it a grown folk music. It all sounds immature.
I would have to agree that it all sounds immature. And
Right,
that's what we're talking about.
it all sounds immature, right? Because even when I think, yes, they had graphic songs back in the day. They had provocative lyrics back in the day. Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
yes. They had, I get it, right? They was cursing back in the day in the 20s and 30s and 40s. I get it. That's you had to stay up real late to hear that. You
You
had
did.
to you had to sneak out the house and walk through the swamp to go like think about the
Go down
time
to the
period
juke joint. Go down
to
to
go to
the
the juke joint,
go
right?
down to the juke.
Think about what you had to do to partake in that, right? So so to hear that dirty joke or to hear that dirty song, it was worth it to you. Put your life on the line for that.
Yeah.
If you can just not even log in, right? But just open up one of these streaming apps or YouTube or something and just see what they got, and it just be a bunch of craziness. As this is what's the hot music right now. Like everybody listening to this, everybody. All right, I don't want to listen to none of this.
Right.
All right,
Let
because
me
they're
let
all
me ask you.
immature.
It is all immature, God. Not to cut you.
Mm.
Um,
But
I got a question though. When we were young, I made an assessment. When we were younger, do you think this has to do anything? Because we still on music, y'all. If y'all just
yeah,
tuned in, we talking about communication and we talking about how music, um, is a bad, good, misunderstood the communication that we get in music. And when we were younger, we had a lot of people that play instruments because our parents came up in like a jazz renaissance.
mm-hmm.
Do you think that that has to do with anything with why now the music is just so everything is digitized, the instrumentation stuff isn't a focus anymore?
100%.
And because that's when it was like the essence we had. Like I knew plenty
Yo,
of people that played instruments, trumpets, keyboards, and trombones and clarinet,
yeah,
violins, and I knew I had friends that played those instruments,
and cool.
right? And I even played a couple myself.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but we were encouraged to do that, but that was because our parents had came through that, that they had that whole jazz uh background and upbringing. So they kind of, fed that into their babies. And then we see like now, like we don't see a lot of it. You still see children in band and stuff like that, but it isn't like he's not really in the band, but his parents making him play and learn an instrument, or she's not in a band, or she's not in the school, this or something, but they in a band somewhere else, maybe at the church, maybe for a community youth organization or something like that. And
Yeah, that went away, bro. It didn't go away. It didn't go away. It definitely died down. If you listen to the interviews that like any of the old school DJs would talk about, they all say the same things. When they took the music and stuff out of the schools, like there was nothing else. That's why cats had to sample. Right? There was no way to make that sound. There was no way to get these horns or somebody to play this, right? There was no, Fat Albert in the Junkyard Band where everybody just grabbed, bed parts and toilets and you know what I'm saying?
buckets.
And buckets, you
Yeah,
know what I'm
buckets. Yeah.
saying? You know what I'm saying? Like it was that didn't exist, right? So So yeah, that's how we got to where we are now, and it just evolved or devolved depending on how you look at things, into where now you got AI making beats and rapping for people.
Man, and going text to video,
Right,
text to video now.
right.
Yeah, I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna mess with it. I'm gonna learn. I'm incorporating it in my repertoire. We learn it.
Yeah, yeah. I learned
Absolutely.
real quick though on that. I learned that with the AI stuff, if you are creative though, if you use AI for your creative process, you don't actually get to claim it, right?
Mm.
Because you use AI, somebody else as your co-writer, or like I guess tricky, right? So yeah, I learned that recently. I was like, that's interesting.
You know what? I think if you are more descriptive, it may be a gray area. Because to me, like based on my usage of AI so far, what I've been doing, it seems like the AI is creating everything that you type in, all your prompts, everything that
Mm-hmm.
you put in is creating it. But
Mm-hmm.
then you have to learn how to
Say that.
um edit, like, what I'm saying. That's probably not the right word because I don't know all the nomenclature of it, but like um but if you want it specific, then you can make it do it. You just have to, type it in,
Mm-hmm.
put the text in, put the prompt in correctly, and it just creates it. So that'd be interesting. I'm gonna look at that though. That sounds like that sounds like that's false advertisement.
Not apparently.
For them,
Apparently, somebody
for them.
told me that that's what the writers' strike was all about. The whole writers' guild strike. Something about they was using AI or something like that to write scripts. So they're like, "Why we got to pay y'all? The machine write it better," and people are laughing. It's just the same. Like, is it?
Okay. So see, that's another dynamic. I get okay. I get where you're coming from now. Yeah. So yeah, that's what people who trying to get AI to do all the work for
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, right? Like that.
Yeah.
How much is all the work? I mean that's different if they're actually writing a script. You say, "Hey, AI, write me a script that's gonna sell and be a blockbuster hit," and it types up a Ghostbusters 6. Then that's probably not yours.
Yeah, like yeah.
That's
No, that's super lazy anyway. But
super lazy. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
that's
super
super
lazy.
lazy.
Super lazy.
That's something they might as well go play a lottery ticket because I don't care if the AI do write that script up. Somebody has to come up with the 10 or 20 million or 30 or 40 or $50 million to produce the script. So that's why like them when they talk about stuff like that, I'd be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, man,
Yeah,
get that out of here. Because if we use it like uh, as the tool that it is, where like you go in and you learn how to type your stuff up, then all it's doing is generating the imagery. You typed it all in.
correct.
And and if I'm paying $300 a month for a subscription or whatever the subscription is, okay, then that is in lieu of a graphic designer.
I think that is your graphic designer.
Right. So if you're just using the AI, especially that tool, the text to video tool, and you're just your own thoughts, your own original processes, your own
Yeah.
original ideas, and you typing that in, learning the way to type it in, and then the computer generates it, the AI generates it for you, the
Yeah.
image that you typing in, like, and I paid you your monthly fee, like,
Yeah. Shut up talking to me.
yeah, like I should be able to go make my money. Like, if that's the case, I could have just did it, but it took less time because a lot of times when we have to deal with graphic designers and things like that, it's a little bit more tedious work. So I
Yeah.
can definitely see how this AI is going to challenge their jobs, and that's the kind.
Yeah.
That's a communication for y'all out there now. Graphic designers, learn how to incorporate AI in your skill set because it's coming for you.
Yo, it's not just like not just you, everybody, right? Like anything that can be automated, like it's on the table. Because for whatever reason, human beings, American citizens, are saying yes, we want that, right? And they want it in masses. So it's coming.
The microwave hasn't gone out of business yet, so so I'm just not surprised. I'm just not surprised. So we see that we had some good communication at one point in time um, when the music did when we did have there was more of a balance in what we listen to today on and what's offered. And I'm even, you know, like not even to make light of it, but just to be considerate. It still is a lot of good R&B music. It still is a lot of good music with messages and things like that, but it isn't promoted as much or even as, you know, um, it isn't made readily available as the other stuff that tends to give off bad communication and encourage people to do, you know, criminal things and, you know, nasty stuff and whatever else. That is just like, man, you're gonna get old one day, right? Like,
Tomorrow.
you know, like, don't you want to, you know? Um, but yeah, so we have in music, still staying on the music for a little bit, real quick. We also see a lot of things are misunderstood in the communication with these music and arts too. Um, the biggest thing, like from what we were just speaking of, is the fact that it's not real. That the actual artists who are, um, you know, propagating these images and perpetuating these images and creating this music, they not living like that
At all.
So the people who are receiving it on the other communicate, the fans, people who idolize, worship, and yeah, and
Door.
uh, and get influenced.
Hey, real quick, fan is short for fanatic or fantasize.
I don't know. We can look it up. Let's look it up.
Cause I would tend, I would hope it's closer to fantasy. I guess.
Okay, so we have fan here. Fan. Okay, they giving us they're giving us a now an apparatus with rotating blades that create air for cooling or ventilation.
Hey.
All right. Then we have a noun too. A device typically folding and shaped like a segment of a circle when spread out that is held in the hand and wave so as to cool the person holding it, caused by the air to move. All
Damn, we about
right.
to learn what the word fan really means.
Okay.
That's
So
third.
that's that thing y'all see in church when the AC go out and everybody like this.
Sometimes the AC still be on.
Yeah, yeah. Depending on where you at, it might just be that hot. And then we have the verb. Okay. A fan, cool.
Okay.
By waving something to create a current of air. Increase the strength of by blowing or stirring up in the air near it.
Okay.
So now we're gonna go fanatic, right?
Damn. So that was it for fan?
Okay, let me go to
Like that was it. Like
that was
there wasn't like a fan. Like there wasn't like a.
So no. No. Even Google.
Damn.
Even Google. Even Google gives the same definition of a fan. Okay. Now they have to say of a fan person. So they present it as what is the definition of a fan person.
Okay.
Right. So you have to add the person on it in order to change
Yeah.
to change the definition. So it's
I
not
wonder
just a
why.
fan.
Because the fan generates a breeze or a current or movement. So a fan person would generate, I guess, would generate the movement of the person that you are fanning over, right? That you're propping up, you're making that person go higher and get more and more and more, I guess, yeah.
Now, fanatic gives us an actual person.
Oh man, for real.
Fanatic says a person filled with excessive and single-minded zeal, especially for an extreme religious or political cause. That's the noun. Okay. And then they have zealot, extremist, militant, uh, bigot. Like, wow. Wow. And then the adjective is filled with or expressing excessive zeal. So
that don't sound like a fan person. That don't sound like what a fan person would be. All right, like that sound like what they said, like the religious zealot, the political zealot, like the cat at Cold Stone. Yeah, these people are nuts, bro.
what happened?
When Trump was in power, when Trump was in power, everything was great. Yo, man,
Okay.
you got people that walk around using words like empower. I'm like, you realize, like, we got like a whole system where at least that they show us, like, we get to vote and stuff. Like they show us that we get to participate and each vote matters and things like that. We got uh, congressional seats and all. Like we got like a whole process, right? So no one man or person is in charge for real, right? Got that has the power, that got all this power. They're making Trump sound like Stalin or or some kind of emperor, right? It's bananas. I'm like, man, y'all living in la la land, bro.
I mean, well, we know the majority of the population have no idea that there's only three branches of the U.S. government. They actually believe that the Democratic and Republican Party are actually
A branch or two.
branches of the government. I mean, when we dealing with people who didn't learn past the third grade, it's kind of hard.
That fool turned around, looked at me. He's like, so who you voting for president? Right? I'm like, man, there's no way I'm about to get in no conversation with this dummy. So I was like, I'm like, me? He's like, yeah, no, I'm talking to you. I was like, yeah, I'm voting for me. Right? That's what I'm voting for, right? And he was like, you're voting for yourself. Like, what makes you qualified? I'm looking at this cat, like, why do we think that we have the right, to just randomly walk up to another person and ask them anything and that person has to answer? Right?
I don't know, bro. I serve breakfast to people in the morning and always say good morning and didn't give a shit whether you said good morning to me back or not. Okay.
Right?
So you know. So like
I just did it because I was like man, Cass, I'm like, nah, bro, like I'm qualified, like because I'm me, right? And he was offended by my answer, talking about, oh man, and tried to make it like a whole scene about it, and hey guys over here tapping other people, talking about we got a strange one over here, got a strange one over here. I'm like, yo, you really trying to like what are you trying to do here exactly? Right? Like, cause I'm just trying to get some ice cream, man. I'm just trying to chill. I'm just trying to
he making a nice day to get some ice cream. You just picked out the flavor.
you know what I'm
Trust me,
saying?
I know how it go. I know how it go. When we go get ice cream, man, I'll be like, I don't know if I want that one, or a scoop of this or a scoop of that.
Yo, and when you stand in the line at Cold Stone, they got like the pictures and stuff, and you get the
And they got berries, they got toppings.
change your mind like 5 times. Like they ain't talk about no politics right now, man. Get out of
Right.
here.
Like, got blueberries and raspberries and strawberries, and you want to talk about Trump.
Don't talk about Trump. Get out of here, bro.
Like, you will ruin a wet dream, home.
You know what I'm saying? Like, golly. I'm like, man, I don't get it, man. But and I think that's the music had that same effect, right? Because even a person like Trump, I think he say all that crap, but I do think he wild, but I don't think he's radical, right? I don't think he himself is a radical person, right? I think he has the ability to radicalize folks, but he himself, I think he used his character as a weapon to make more money.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he's been pretty successful at that too.
Uh,
So
and,
he definitely has been pretty successful at that. His communication has been effective enough for him to be able
in
to,
fact, it's been great, right? And
for him to be
this
able
cat
to,
was singing, bro. Like he was damn near like he could have started a whole Trump, 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 Trump. We love the Trump. Like it was like a whole. It was
he
like a
made
whole
his
thing.
own song. I mean, we do it in the hip hop culture, so
Like I could have really stood there like he could have put on the whole show, bro. And I'm like, man, like that cat voting for Trump. Like, you know?
crazy. I don't get it either. I don't get the whole one last show we have talked we had mentioned something that the brother Dr. Umar had said, which we both thought was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But I had seen something that he said uh about that in particular, about voting in particular, where people
Mm-hmm.
try to have conversations with him about voting. And then he asks him, do you know who your local representatives are? Do you know who your local people are? Your
Hell no,
congressional
man.
people, your judicial people. So like how we sitting up here having a conversation about a person who's an executive, okay, and title is holding more weight than their actual
Correct.
ability, you
Correct.
know, and you don't even know about the things that you do have
Correct.
access to be able to have
100%.
influence over, you know.
You can only talk to Trump or the person in that seat when they're on TV and you yelling at it.
Yeah, you can't see them at the grocery store, at church,
Yes.
at
You
the high
can't go
school
to the town
game,
hall.
town hall. Yeah,
You can't go to the city hall. You can't see them at work,
right.
and you can't make an appointment, right? And actually resolve your issues. Like they're not even the people to resolve your issues for the most part,
Yeah.
right? They're too far away from you.
The president, yeah.
like, like too far. Like,
The president
think you care about your rent?
of the
Like,
United States of America.
yeah, cats talk about that stimulus. I'm like, man, y'all really think like this cat, like that is way. If he talk about a stimulus, then that's all a tool, right? Because I would much rather him or them, whoever the person is, to be making it so we don't need a stimulus,
Okay.
right? Than to mess up my money and then give me a piece of my money and then tax me on my money again later or whatever, right? Like charge me for my money later about raising prices, right?
Oh, you
Like,
talking about normal life, right?
right? It's like,
Talking about normal everyday life, guy? Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I just don't like being lied to. Like, if we just don't call it, the economy, I can like, all right, I get it. People are greedy, right? Then I can't blame nobody. But if it's a systematic policy or process, that seems like a little different because you can change something that's written down
If you want to.
if you want to.
If
Yeah,
you want to. And most of
yeah.
the time it's not gonna be unless it's gonna be beneficial.
Correct.
I'm finding is like it's just like certain laws, like even like the cannabis laws and stuff like that that we see changing. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of states don't want to because of the penalties and fees that they do from civil charges
Yep.
and criminal charges that they're able to levy.
Correct.
So so they're hesitant. And I think they're hesitant because they're just trying to find what else
Correct.
to replace that stream of income.
Correct.
So
And bad communication, right? Because that's the truth, but the messaging is still is the cannabis is bad for you. This is your brain on drugs. This is
yeah,
so
gateway.
so yeah, the gateway drug
Gateway.
and all this other crap and so you still got that messaging out there and people are using that rhetoric to to champion the no when the truth is they just trying to figure out a way to keep making money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they not saying that. Like if they just said that, it would be, to me, I think that'd be better, right? Because then you'll have your constituents coming up with ideas to fundraise.
Right. And we just segue into it anyway. We talking about now we on
Uh,
communication and politics too.
my
So we
bad.
was gonna get there, but we came on in it. So now that we in it, yeah, that's the communication and politics. And we constantly see that now. Now that's what we figure out. Is that bad, good, or misunderstood? Because it's a lot going on with things like that. As far as that communication, where we just that example,
Yeah.
I don't even know. I think that is what from what you just said, I think is misunderstood to a lot of people because they don't know that part, that monetary part of it. Like, okay, this is first of all penal violations, all codes have a monetary charge, meaning they cost money. If you get a jaywalking ticket, it's a
Yeah.
fine that come with it. Everything
Yeah.
got a money from murder to fraud to robbery to
Yeah.
everything. It got a charge with it. It's a
Littering.
dollar value.
Yeah.
Okay. So people have to understand that part. And a lot of people don't. They just get caught up in it. They got the bail money, pay the lawyer, not understanding that how the restitution is the
Yeah.
reason why you can go serve time and then come home, you still gotta pay money because it was a charge.
Correct. A charge.
It was a charge. And
it
it was a charge. And
yeah, you gotta pay the fee
you
because you
gotta
got
pay the fee.
charged. Oh man, so ain't got nothing to do with going to jail or prison for real. You gotta pay the fee.
Yeah.
Because you got charged.
Yeah. That's why
Oh man.
certain things, if you got enough money, you could beat it.
Oh man, that's funny. That is a true statement. Oh man.
That is a true that is a
that's a true
honest
reality.
to
Yeah.
God
Yes.
truthful statement. I know 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Nah, 100%. Definitely. 100%.
100%. Yeah, you don't have to do no telling. You don't have to do no snitching
You just gotta
and
have
all
enough
that
money.
foolishness. You just have to have enough money for
Yeah.
whatever the shot, and it helps. It does helps. That's why I'm always gonna be 632 to the death of me. I ain't nothing gonna come between me and with nobody. My brothers, period. I don't care,
Mm-hmm.
whatever,
Mm-hmm.
bruh. I know for a fact who you know helps
Mm-hmm.
too, because if you know somebody that knows somebody, they'll make it happen even better. Period. Saved my life, so I'm never turning my back on it. Period.
Word.
Period.
Word.
But yeah, that is the thing that people don't know is that everything costs.
Yeah.
So you can understand that. That's why they don't. Now it would be nice if politicians would come out and just say that, like, we can't change this law right now because we make $80 billion a year in fines and restitution, and and then there's another 100 some odd million, quarterly,
Mm-hmm.
and these things like food and housing and all this other stuff. Like, release the numbers, just be honest
Oh
about it.
man. See, but if you do that, so the problem why they won't do that because now we'll be debating real facts, and at the end of that debate will have been a decision that you and I have come to together.
That we don't want to go be a part of that. So we can do nothing to go to jail. Because we don't make no money in that. Only they making the money. Yeah, word, God. I believe that. That might have some logical decisions like that. See a little bit more productivity within the community. I agree.
Right, like is one is and as for a politician whose main job is not serving the community or the constituents, but putting on the show, right, or doing the politics, not actually doing anything, right. Having a bunch of smart constituents or a bunch of folks that are well read, lawed up, are ready for the bill line by line. When you reading it, talking, okay, so you know, if they stay on C-SPAN, like that'd be bad for you because you can't BS them. You have to literally hold true to what you promised, right, to do your job,
Yeah.
right,
Plus
and
they
and
plus they value their donors. Their
that's what I'm saying. Because
yeah.
if they're knowledgeable and they contributing,
Mhm.
because if they're knowledgeable, then that means that they know that they have to contribute financially, um because everything is about the bread, right? So
Yeah.
so if you want to be heard, then you got to be felt, and what else better than the way down the pocket.
Right. Right. If you want
You know?
look, if you want to be heard, then your contribution better be listen worthy.
You know what I'm saying?
Be
Right.
noteworthy for real. Because if
Right,
not,
like
a 50,000 to Trump, you know what I'm saying, ain't gonna get you the same thing as 5 million to Trump.
not right or wrong, but realism ism, right? Like
Mhm.
every one of us, for the most part, be like, yeah, that makes sense,
Yeah.
right? If you was a radio DJ and your job is spinning records all day, and some random day some cat offer you 50 grand to play some record that you ain't never heard before, you gonna spend that for the most part, to get 50 bands.
Yes.
Somebody else come through, talk about, yo, I got 5, can you put this on? Like 5, like, man, that's not 50, right?
No.
And now you crooked all of a sudden. All right, that wasn't your intention. Like, you ain't start out like that, right? Like, the bar has been set, right? Because once you take 50 bands, you can't take 5. I mean, you could.
You could, depend on if you cool with that person, because you may have a different relationship with them.
Right, but you kind of want your business standard to be at 50 whenever anybody else come to you.
Oh, they know. They know.
Yeah.
They know. No, you can't even, like, they know. It's
Yeah.
a common thing in that, in that arena. So they know, like, okay, if I want to sit down, it's probably gonna cost me X amount of dollars to sit down and actually look this person in their face and get a confirmation. Yes, I will look out for you when the time comes. Okay, cool. And then you go back and you making your plans, so your business plans, because that's the only thing of value with these politicians like this, and these what you call the local legislative people.
Oh yeah.
Like, the value is because you can contribute, and and then you're going to be able to have a favor.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about. And that's why we do it. It's completely separate from, like, the prison monetary system,
Yeah.
but it also has effect too, because, like,
Yeah.
hey, if I own the prison,
Mhm.
and I want to make sure that whoever's running is going to be behind this and behind that type of legislation, because I know what type of business I'm in, then it would be
Yeah.
irresponsible of me not to play my hand like that. As cold as it sounds, it would be irresponsible of me to
Yeah.
not play my hand like that.
See, and that's what I'm saying, right? Like capitalism is a hell of a thing because one, we don't know anything else, right? So everything else we know, we only read about it in books, and we seen them defeated, right? So we don't have any of the thought process to do that system better, right? So it's just it's just bad all the way around because I wouldn't tell nobody to change their standards, to lower their standards, right? Like, keep them high. Like you do what you can for your mans, but business is business, and you gotta take care of your family. And if everybody, man, that's tough, bro. We need to do a show on integrity.
That's what we can do next week. Integrity. Next week, y'all. Integrity.
What the hell does that mean?
Integrity, y'all. Next week. That's what we doing. Integrity.
All right,
That's what
like,
we doing.
man.
Y'all. Make sure y'all tune in next week, next Sunday. We doing integrity. But right now, we communicate,
Yeah.
y'all, that's what we doing. So we're gonna stick to it. But that communication that we get from our quote unquote political leaders, uh it projects one thing, and then we see often that they do another. So I understand, like, I'm I don't know, I'm kind of on the fence with the good and the bad.
Yeah.
Because I understand, like, being in a political space, it's still like you still are, and this is why like I really hate politics, because how are you for the people but you selfish? And being for the people is supposed to be selfless. It's not supposed to be selfish.
See, and I agree with you. I agree with you, God. And that's why I think that we should be taught politics from like elementary school, from early, right? Because clearly it's what's running us. So clearly it's important. So I think it's important that we understand how to play and how to navigate and how to communicate in that space. Because how do I tell true lies in general, get you to vote for me, and don't mean none of it, right? And make deals over here too that I have to honor because I want to still sit here but I need you to make sure I sit here. But I also need this other side over here to allow me to sit here.
Mm-hmm.
If we as citizens don't understand that is the game, so every time somebody stands in front of us and says, "Hey, I'm here for the people," like what people?
What people?
Like what people are you here for? I learned something in the Navy, bro. Anytime, every single time I had a new CO, a new chief, bass chief, senior chief, any new leader, anytime they ever said, I'm a Liberty hound, I enjoy Liberty as much as the next person, right? You was about to be underway for a long time.
Right.
you was about to float, right? Because this person is a control freak. This person is a perfectionist. This person is looking to get a star. This person is lying and looking to get you to be on their side using what works, right? Liberty, fun.
Man, please go ahead and grant it.
Please.
I am tired of sitting here at muster waiting. Y'all called muster like an hour ago. Y'all ain't got y'all thoughts together yet.
Hey, for real, what we doing, man? Are you still talking about sweepers? Like, come on, man. Like
until I sat in it, and then I was just like, but I still didn't want, you know what I'm saying? I still was just like, we want to get these guys up out of here, man. Let them go.
Let them go, man. Like when I made E5, like I was that guy that was like, yo, man, like I was never that old. This is what I went through, so I'm gonna hold you down and screw you the same way.
Yeah.
Like I thought that was terrible. Like that was terrible.
I had to sit here and wait for hours and a half. So y'all gonna sit here and wait here for hours and a half too. Like, I don't get it. It's like doctor visits. That's the only two places in my life that I have experienced waiting that long on anything just to be told something sometimes that's just like, all right, go home.
You really could have. You really could have just yelled at me the next day for going home.
Exactly.
Right? Like I waited around, Gunny, all day. Right? And yeah, nah, bro. Like so I that's what I think. I think that we need to be taught political lingo and know when to take them serious and when not to take them serious. Right? We need to know what we can count on. Like so if I'm running for president or any office or whatever, right? I shouldn't just be allowed to say this should always be like a fact checker of what it is that I'm actually able to do, right? I shouldn't be able to say I'm gonna make sure that it rains gold on my first week in office, right? I think it should be things within that office power or control.
Yeah.
Right, so that way we don't have unrealistic expectations of this person. We won't be using words like "in power." Like that sound crazy, bro. Like, why would you talk to anybody? Right? Why would anybody talk to you when you use words like when Trump was in power? Making so much money when he was in power. I'm like, in power?
Power. I know. You mean when he was the president?
What is the president? Or do you mean when he was on the CEO and he was like, you're fired? Like
that's when he had power.
That's when he had power because he was like, you fired.
Yeah,
you fired. I'm like, golly.
And Trump realizes the powers that he did have in that position, the positional powers, and the powers that he doesn't have, why? Because they got him up out of there. You know, he
Correct.
didn't. Yeah,
correct.
So he knows what it is, and a lot of people are delusional when it comes to all of this stuff. But
Correct.
it's more so like they stuck in delusion, but it's just because they don't want to take the time to actually just go educate themselves about it fully. Because to sit here and understand, like, it's three branches of government and people just don't know how they work. They just don't know how they work. They don't. They never look at that and never examine what does the judicial do, what does the legislative do, and what does the executive do, and what are their roles and responsibilities and powers, you know. And once the person goes back to third grade, you know, get that.
But that's the problem, right? Because we say it like it's such a like you got to remember, bro. They had a whole TV show. It might still be on. Are you smarter than a fifth grader? So to me,
No.
right, right,
No.
right.
No, but I'm smarter than a third grader though.
Right. So to me, I'm like, yo, they got a show like this because there's a lot of walking dummies around here, right? Like a lot of us think that we are smart, but we not, right? We think like we just made it, right? Like our teachers just passed us and we thought we was, we was really smart. But I think a lot, that's why I say, bro, like we need to get that education, get it, I don't know, a better one or something, right? We need to learn because we got it in third grade and it stopped, right? Like we just got that information and it wasn't emphasized. It wasn't
Wasn't nurtured. Yeah, it wasn't nurtured or cultivated at
right.
all.
We just got the information and then we just moved on.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. We need to mold that.
Yeah.
Go back to third grade, right? He right. Go back to third grade and do third grade better.
Executive, legislative, like this Democrat and Republican thing. I'm sorry, y'all. Newsflash, it's separatism.
It's separate. It's 100% separatism.
Just want to let y'all know that it don't have nothing to do with being an American, okay? Regardless,
Nothing.
for real, that is so divisive, and
Bad communication. An example of bad communication
that's an example.
is the Democrat Republican rhetoric.
Yeah,
Is an example of bad communication because it does bring into question your Americanism,
yeah.
right? Depending on which side of the finger you are on that your, right?
Mm-hmm. Word.
And that's dangerous. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's been dangerous though.
That's dangerous. Right?
It's been dangerous. Look at I mean, we had a whole July 6th. We had January 6th.
January 6th. January 6th.
We had a whole that. We had
war, had a whole 1812, had a whole.
Look at the riots. Look at the, you know what I'm saying? All the riots we've had, the cultural riots, so look at that. That's all a product of that.
Yeah.
That is not a product of us first. And I'm talking about America.
No, that was not January 6th was not America. January 6th was akin to some Civil War type activity, right? Like that was if it was religious, it would be akin to being blasphemous.
Right? It can be blasphemous, right? It's crazy.
Yeah, so we don't understand, and that's why I say, because if we did, we wouldn't use words like power, bro. Like that's a person that you wouldn't. Anybody out there listening, don't engage in conversation or debate or argument with anybody that's using words like when this person was in power, right? like that is not a smart person. Like I don't care what kind of car they drive. I don't care what size house they live in. I don't care how much money they got. They are not a smart person.
Not to refer to a president as when they was in power.
Nah, like this is not a kingdom. Like this is not a.
It's not a kingdom. Yeah,
It's not,
it is
like it's
not
not.
a kingdom. That is not this is not Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, right.
Now, if this was Saudi Arabia, that would make sense.
Like over here in America, like we are anti that empower stuff, like that whole empower. Like that's why we had abolitionists for not for nothing, right? Like we was anti that shit, bro. Like we. All right, like what you mean you empower, man? Let's fight, bro.
Yeah, let's just fight.
Like,
Let's just fight.
We play games like King of the Hill, right? Like, you in charge? For how long?
Meanwhile, it's somebody in the background who in charge of everything, and just like
turning on and off the lights.
I'll go fight.
Yeah, I'll go fight.
I'm a fund it. Okay.
I'm a fund it. Both sides.
Both sides. Whoever wins, don't worry about it. I'm gonna help fund them. Help fund rebuild it. You know, y'all just keep it going. Do what y'all gonna do.
And I'm gonna promote and fund part 2.
Hey, yeah, part 2, part 3, part 4.
Right? Because you gotta
keep it going.
Gotta keep it going, right? And make them pay for it.
Because it was lucrative that last time. Hey, we, it was lucrative, You know how it goes. Some you lose a little bit, you would gain a little bit. That's how it goes. So
it's nuts, bro.
Yeah.
It's nuts, man.
That's where we at. And
you know what we didn't do? Could you pull up a definition for communication, right?
Yeah.
So that we can. So as a professional communicator for the last almost 30 years, I know what it is, and I have a tendency to just ramble and assume that I'm talking to like-minded. But I think we need to be fair because we use words like noise, and I said it was bad. But I think we need.
I'm gonna bring it up here to Google. Communication. A process by which information is exchanged between individuals through a common system of symbols, signs, or behavior. And that's what we got.
That's what we got, yeah. So we on point in our conversation, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. We definitely are, because we talking about these symbols, these signs, these behaviors from the music industry, from politics,
Yeah.
Because it's all around us, everything. You have to communicate to do everything.
Correct.
You have to communicate to do everything. So that's one of the things where it's like, I know at times it's been misunderstood by me. I know at times my communication been bad. I know at times my communication has been good and effective and beneficial. That's what we strive for, the majority of the time. But it takes work and consistency. So understanding these things that we see around us, because these things don't care about us. The politicians don't care about how you feel about it, or if if you're in the full no, they don't care. Like, because they have an objective. They want to win whatever they, striving to win. In the music, they don't care. They need to make money. And I've heard not every artist, but I know the sentiment is the same, because it does make logical sense for them from their perspective. Yeah, we don't live like this, but these are the songs that people want. So if we don't make this music, then I'm not going to be able to make the money that I need to make to provide for my family and everybody else. Correct. And I'm trying to make sure that they don't do these things. That's how
sound a whole lot like a bunch of Steve Harveys talking to Monique.
It sounds You sound like a considerate hypocrite.
Considerate hypocrite. Yeah.
You know?
A considerate hypocrite.
Yeah.
Right. And yeah. A considerate hypocrite.
You know, because if I'm going to do it and I know that it's wrong, I'm apologizing.
No, let's not say wrong.
Wrong.
Let's not use the word wrong.
Well, not wrong. We know
that you're not doing it, or you're not.
That the effects,
yeah,
aren't going to be equal for everybody.
Yeah, right.
You know that the effects aren't going to be equal for everybody, because I'm going to sell the records, make money for my kids in private school, get them access to everything, you know, encourage them not to go and work somewhere else. I'm gonna encourage them to build businesses, and you know, but I'm gonna project this over here to sell drugs, misogynize women, you know, stab your brother in the back,
to always need to get it out the mud. You're always in the mud. You're never on solid ground. You're never on a staircase. You're never in an elevator. You're never in a high rise. You're never.
But if you are, it's I gotta be in the high rise with the mink on.
With the mink on.
You know, and
and your Timbs.
And you know, in 13 and you know, a whole bunch of bees, a whole bunch of itches. You know what I'm saying? But no women.
And mad drugs and mad guns and mad liquor.
It's still that.
And mad debauchery and
Cause see, the only other difference is if now we get like a neo soul and they up there, but then everybody dancing and jamming and loving, and you see.
And it smelled like weed in there for real.
The weed could still be there, the drinks could still be there.
It's different though, right? Because they got weed mixed with sage.
You know? It's all good.
It is different. It's just a different vibe, man.
Different communication of how to enjoy the same thing.
Different communication how to enjoy the same thing. Yeah.
Because instead of being up like, oh, I'm up and I'm up above everybody and I'm, you know, shitting on everybody and I'm this ego thing, it's like, hey, you could be up and still have love and still.
Let me ask you a question, God. Since you talk about, I know we switched from music to politics and we're kind of going back and forth. What is your take on these artists doing these interviews, talking so damn much? Do you think it's good for the music? Like, because if we're talking, you know, good and bad. So I'm thinking about Aaron Hall right now, right? And as we talking about this, and I'm thinking about his music, and then I'm sitting there looking at a clip of him sitting on somebody's stage saying the most craziest thing, and I'm like, yo, son. Is this like some considerate hypocrite stuff right here? Like, which one do you love? Do you love the person or do you love their artistic expression?
Okay.
Right, like, because I personally I don't want to hear what they got to say unless they're talking about their expression. I want to hear about the music. I don't want to know about how they feel about anything else.
I can understand that. Aaron Hall, particular, since
that was in my head.
Specifically about him. I mean, I look at it like, what was anybody checking for Aaron Hall for before then? Unless you were just a real diehard Aaron Hall fan, like guy type of fan.
Yeah.
You know, so, other than him being in people's playlists that's between the age of, I would say, 40 and, maybe 65, maybe.
Ah, so
Um, I don't really see, I ain't see Aaron Hall like out here having no other type of motion like that on social media. So him understanding, like,
I kind of thought he was
I,
dead already.
I can capitalize, like I can capitalize, and
That's
then
smart.
if he is, what I'm saying, a heterosexual male, all right, then
Smart. Oh, you smart.
it's nothing for him to come out and brag on his,
Yeah.
masculinity and tout that, and whoop whoop whoop, and I'm
That's
this and I'm
smart.
that. So like he didn't come out like, where he had to defend himself for anything. He was offering that information. Like
100%.
nobody probably called him and asked him to say, Aaron Hall, can you come tell us how you was
Correct.
busting these chicks down and all these groupies that used to show up ready to just throw their body at you, and they had no respect for their mama, their daddy, or nothing. They just wanted to trick off and enjoy and have fun for the night. You know what I'm saying? So like, come on, live a fantasy. They don't care what happened. They don't care if you burn them, if you give them an STD, if you know what I'm saying. They don't care none of that. They just so gullible and immature.
That's a good point.
So so these things like that, like I don't salute to Aaron Hall. Like if he gets some motion from that, and that helps him open up an avenue to a new business venture or something, and I just think that it would just be women that run over there and see what else he got going on.
Yeah, no, but on the same though, but yeah, nah. So that will all just be like, because going back to the authenticity though, right? Like, I don't know, like, is he? Because again, right? Again, I'm going back to, I don't necessarily want to, if they're making good love songs or good R&B songs or whatever, I kind of only want to hear that. I don't want to.
That would be nice.
I don't want them to mess that up.
That would be nice. I mean, it's the same way like R. Kelly, like everybody, like we love R. Kelly, all his music and everything. And then now, because of his flaws as a human, as a man, now it's just like, now people have a conscious, a subconscious about listening to his music. And I'm just like, man, I don't know about y'all, but you know what I'm saying? I still rock with Kales. Like I wasn't expecting man to be perfect, So I still like the music. So do we stop watching the Cosby Show? Do we not want to do? Is it any man now that still wouldn't want to be Dr. Heathcliff Huxtable? You just gotta realize that William H. was a different person. It's an actor, and then it's a human being.
Yeah.
Do you get up and go to work? Are you the same person you are at work? When you come home?
Nah, I need my job.
And that is not excusing him for anything that, or any of them that they have done to hurt and harm any type of women. Period.
100%.
That is not excusing them from that. But understanding, like, they still like, why we holding these people with so much reverence?
And that's why I go back to
like, why does he get so much reverence? Like,
and I think he get reverence because I seen a clip, right? And that's why I said I don't want to see stuff like that, right? Like, for me, those things add an element of unnecessarity, right? Because again, if I like your music because of how you sing and the songs you sing, I don't care about your politics, right? Like, now that's a whole nother aspect of when I listen to this. Like, now, I'm gonna use your word, Kels, for instance, right? For me, whenever I hear that, I hear I believe I can fly, and I see him pissing on somebody, right?
I
And
am traumatized too.
but
Why is
but
everybody traumatized?
but
Everybody's
no,
traumatized.
but then I get mad, right? Because I'm like, yo, he beat the case and he only get locked up because they made a movie with actors portraying the case that he beat, not the case that he beat, but a similar scenario. I'm not sure exactly how all that went down, but in my mind, he was a bad guy that got caught, went to trial, for the thing and beat it. Years later, somebody made a movie and he goes to jail. Same thing with William H. Right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No trial necessarily or none of that, but somebody made a joke on stage and somebody else picked it up and was like, we got to do something. And now 50 million people came out the closet talking about, yeah, me too. Right? And I think that only happened because people didn't like what he was saying, right? And I'm like, yeah, be Heath Cliff Huxtable or be Fat Albert or be whatever it is that you're gonna be. But once you step outside of that and be a regular human, like humans are awful. Like it's like it's tough, man.
For real.
It's tough. That's why communication is important because it's like we don't understand,
So you
right?
don't have to assume like that. And when things are left to assume, then you can just think whatever you want.
You can think whatever you want.
Yeah.
You can think whatever you want. Right. And that's why I don't like everybody talking about, well, that's my opinion. That's my opinion. I think your opinion should stay with you. Right. I think that conjecture should never be said out loud. Right. I got that from an anime. Right. I thought it was dope. Right. Because it's just what you thinking, it's just what you pondering. Soon as you said somebody and you say it in a persuasive way, it sounds factual, right? Somebody take it for that, and it's like, your communication is all the way off. So
Okay.
yeah,
Yes, I do agree. Conjecture. I do agree. I had to go and look that up one more time. Conjecture is an opinion or conclusion formed on the basis of incomplete information. So conjecture is absolutely wrong.
wrong.
Because the information is incomplete. But if you got complete information,
That's
then
different. Those are
yeah,
facts.
yeah, then that's the facts.
That's not your opinion.
Yeah, that's the facts if you got complete information.
I don't care about your opinion. If you, I don't wanna debate your opinion, right? Like we can't debate facts,
No, we can't debate no facts.
right? Like talk to me about that. Tell me that. Tell me your facts. Don't tell me your opinion. Well, that's my opinion. Everybody got the right to their opinion.
Everyone does have the right to their opinion. Yeah.
Yeah.
But communication though, we don't need no opinions if it's communication. Because everybody,
Think about what we saying, right? Everybody has the right to their own opinion. Yeah, you have the right to it. Keep it to yourself. You don't have the right to give it to nobody else. That's not what we saying. We
yeah,
saying that.
no, I'm saying you do. Like you do have the right. Like I just gave my opinion on Aaron Hall. I just gave my opinion on R. Kelly. I just gave my opinion on Bill Cosby. I just, you know what I'm saying? And I'm saying it with the whole internet. You know,
The whole WWW.
the whole www, right? But at the end of the day, like uh, if I'm gonna communicate something with somebody, then I'm trying to have effective communication in those relationships that we trying to nurture and value and grow. So you're gonna try to make sure that your communication isn't bad and isn't misunderstood, so that way it can be good communication.
So you can
And
get what you want.
yeah, Absolutely. So things can work out, you know. So at least, you know, there can be some type of balance. That's what we was talking about, that balance.
Right? Like productivity, right? Because again, you're not just talking just to be talking, right? That's noise. It's unproductive,
Right.
right? It just makes you put your hands over your ears. Um, you actually want something to come out of it. So
Right. Whether that be resolve, conclusion, gain, uh complacency, peace, uh you know, what they call it, when you agree to disagree.
oh yeah, I hate that. That's
You know, just agree to disagree, like, okay, cool, whatever.
I hate that.
I mean,
Like look,
I'm a masculine man. I hate that too. I like solutions. I like a resolve.
you
I
know,
don't I don't prefer and agree to disagree, but I'm cool with it because sometimes you just gotta understand that that's how people gonna be, and you
so
can't do
so
nothing with
that's where I'm at with it, right? I I'm cool with us disagreeing. I just want to understand why we're disagreeing,
it. Me too. Yeah, I like
right?
that.
So
Everybody
so
don't give you that though.
so agreeing to disagree pisses me off, right? And and I never want to have a conversation with you again, right? Because you are absolutely willing to carry me all the way over here, get me all the way over here, and then just stop and go back home. And now I'm over here hyped up, ready to do something, and I'm like, no, nothing, nothing. Like I don't understand nothing. Like nah, bro. I hate that. Agree to disagree. Like we need to understand why it is that we're disagreeing, right? Why am I saying the sky's red and you saying the sky's green,
Right. What happened? Where we at?
right? Like
What happened?
why?
Why? Yeah, why? What, you know what I'm saying? Especially if we was just good yesterday.
Just good yesterday.
Yeah. It's especially if the world, if you had access to everything in a person's world yesterday and then tomorrow, then it's like, yeah, so
On site?
yeah,
What?
you know,
What
but
happened?
I'm learning, you know what I'm saying? That that's just how the world works. You
Like
know,
what happened,
it's
right?
just
And
how the world works. And you know, you deal with it and you move on and you understand like that's not something that I ever want to be. So, you know, that's how you learn from it. You learn from these situations when we encounter stuff like that, and you say, you know what, that's not something I ever want to be. I don't want to be like that, especially not with people I love.
nah, bro.
Especially not with people I love. So that's what we see, and that's why we value on Cigar Sundays effective communication, good communication, trying to understand the difference, sharing the differences between bad communication and and things that could be misunderstood when communicated. And that's what we're going into our last part of, you know, the is because we touched on earlier, we touched on the music, we touched on
Politics.
politics. So
Mhm.
now we gotta touch on relationships,
Hey.
you know what I'm saying? And it's a vast relationships. It's so
Yeah.
many. It's business relationships, you know, it's personal with like spouses, partners,
Mhm.
it's friendships, um, you know, and it's just we talking about just other humans. We talking about
Yeah.
human interaction right now. We so when we say the music, that's translated to us. The musicians are creating something, creating
Mhm.
imagery, doing things, communicating with us, trying to get us to go buy their music, enjoy, purchase, participate, emulate. We see a lot of these things that transpire from
Correct.
that, all the effect of the communication from the music, and then also with the political aspect of it, we see, you know, people ready to, you know, harm each other because I'm part of this party or you part of that party and I'm part of this party and we think like this and you think like
you
that
would
and
think they said they was Russian.
right, and you like
Right,
don't
like,
we
nah.
ain't everybody going to Starbucks in the morning? Like
Everybody
so it's like
wait for the same bus.
it's like you don't like an egg McMuffin? You know, I'm like, come on. Like sometimes when you get fried chicken, you don't go to Popeyes, you know, like that don't have nothing to do with your complexion here. We doing that, right?
Nothing at
So
all.
when we let those things break us down, you know, from their divisiveness and the communication, the misunderstanding of it, the bad stuff, the good stuff, we continue to see these life going on around us. And, you know, now relationships, and I know I kick it off with something I know I've been dealing with. Communication being bad. Focused on how I say things. Because I found out that like in general, people have a problem with how the thing that I might communicate to them is presented. So that's bad. I'm thinking that's bad. I'm thinking if you yell at people, like um that's a pull from like I know growing up sometimes you had certain people that will watch you and they always just yell. They never said like, you know, like, hey, stop doing that. It wasn't a low tone.
It was always loud.
It was like, sit down. Sit your ass down before I beat your ass. You know what I'm saying? You know,
I kind of think you just did. That got verbally,
you know,
I think it got verbally whooped.
you know, you know, or the common black household joint, like not even before I beat y'all ass. You know what I'm saying? Do y'all want y'all ass whooped? You know, it's just the question, like, okay, whatever we doing now, this is an ass whooping thing. So
stop right now.
you gotta learn the cues, you know, caught a few of them because you wasn't that sharp. You ain't noticed that soon. So you know, so those things we see that we see where like financial literacy things don't be passed down sometimes because not necessarily because of a lack of communication, but maybe the the people in a place don't have it to pass it. So even when it gets passed, it's not as sharp as it could be. So it can transform into not bad, but just misunderstood communication.
Passed down poorly.
Right, because it's passed down poorly. So we see those things in relationships, you know, with communication be bad, good, misunderstood. I mean, we got homeboys, like not today, but in the past, I know from personal situations, had homeboys where you gotta tell like, look, I ain't with this, I ain't with that, I'm not doing this certain thing, you know, and that's cool if that's what you want, but I ain't on that, you know, or I can't get in the car with you, I can't do this, I can't do those type of things. Even that communication can be misunderstood.
Correct.
Because I've seen from that where people would think, oh, you better than them because you're not willing to put yourself in the same situation that they willing to put themselves in. So it's misunderstood. Instead of looking at it like, oh, this good, I got a brother right here who doing good stuff, and you know what I'm saying, I might be able to let me feed off of that, you know, because he ain't saying he won't still deal with me. He's saying he won't deal with me in this capacity.
Correct.
But then they don't. Sometimes I know for a fact, few people they just haven't even taken the time to internalize it.
Correct.
So, you know, that's a point where the communication becomes bad, good, and misunderstood. You know, that's a point where it's like good communication for me, But then they receive it as bad, and then they misunderstand it because they thinking that you know, like
So
like us doing better for us is not something that we should be doing.
yeah, like I said again, like it's all misunderstood, but I, a lot of times I tend to think it's more so bad than even so much misunderstood, because I don't think we talking. I don't think that we say enough of the important things, right? I think that we keep a lot of thoughts to ourselves, and we let those thoughts, those assumptions, control our actions and control our next moves based on what is being communicated to us, right? So I'm gonna have all these assumptions based off what you're saying, and I'm not gonna actually find out anything. I'm not gonna actually validate or solidify my assumptions or anything. I'm just, because we start talking about those like parental stuff, right? So I got two children, and I raised my second child completely different than my first, right? I was way more handsy. I'm gonna use that word, handsy, with my first child, right? um,
I get you.
I was a lot less handsy with my second, um, and it was for the reason of communication, right? I felt that with my first child, I and my wife was so young that we didn't know how to communicate properly, which is why we had to be hands on, so to speak, right? I like hands on.
Yeah.
So with the second child, we decided to practice our words, right, and practice communicating and practice getting our message across. And I understand why my mom's, popped me in my mouth, because explaining things is hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially if it's not coming from a like a sarcastic or a negative place, but like a real child's question of why, or explain that to me.
Hmm.
You have to give a real answer and not some made up um thing, right? Because you're having real words, you're having real communication. Like, look both ways before you cross the street. Um, why? Why? Right? What does dangerous means,
Hmm.
right? Like, what does, like there's a whole bunch of things that you got to be willing to talk about. And if you're not prepared for those words, or prepared to, if you don't have, if you're not even prepared to spend enough time with a person to help them grow, then it's going to be bad communication, because to properly communicate requires you to, not you specifically, but a person to invest their time into that thing that they're doing, right? Like, so I think it's lazy when we say things are misunderstood. It's just, I think a lot of it's just bad. I think it's just bad, to be honest with you, right? I don't
Okay.
think we I don't think we doing it right. I don't think we using enough words. I think we doing too much assuming, and not getting enough clarification.
Yeah, but that means people got to talk.
People gotta
So,
talk.
yeah, so like,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
that's like you was just saying with the same scenario with mom. Like as a parent, like I know, even like I was talking about, even too, to correlate it with like to my elders when they was just like, sit your ass down. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's a difference between sit your ass down,
Mm-hmm.
or you finna get the belt or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
versus, hey, don't do that, because that's gonna hurt you. And if you get hurt, then we're gonna have to go to the hospital, and it's gonna be a whole bunch of other stuff going on, and you're gonna cost money. and all this stuff. Like it's different
It's
in doing
different.
that.
It's different.
It's different in doing that than just pop. You heard what the hell I said?
I heard that I said the first time.
You know, I don't feel like explaining and going the communication. I don't feel like communicating to you because
Oh, that's so honest.
that's honest. I don't
I
feel
don't
like
feel like I
I
get
don't
it.
feel
I don't.
like commun. I had to. I'm telling you,
I get it.
bro. Our brother woke me up. I'm
I
telling
get,
you.
yeah.
I'm telling you. I don't feel like communicating. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't value it enough to talk. And that's where the difference is you saw the value, and your wife, y'all saw the value in the communication and trying to get a different result and trying to get something, you know, y'all was able to do that. Y'all able to see the differences. Y'all know the differences from y'all work that you put in from the communication.
Yeah. Now, you know, on that same thing, like it's certain lessons that personally, as a person, I don't know how to teach without being handsy. For instance, teaching a child how not to play with the light socket. I don't know how to use just words and get my message across with electricity.
Oh, you ain't let him get shot? They let us get shot. Next time I'm gonna shock your ass. That's what you get. Next time I'm gonna shock your ass. That's what you get.
So with things like that, you know, I think you got to be handsy. Unless unless you are creative enough to teach that lesson. I just don't have that. So for me, I would be a hands-on, don't touch that approach versus some clever words. And that's only because I'm without them.
Yeah. And I mean, and they make and see for things like that, they make those little sticky things that you put, those little plastic things that you put at the sockets.
But
So
they sit there and try to take them out though, son.
only if there's no parental supervision.
That's true.
Allow, you know, because they gotta walk over there to it, and they gotta sit there and play with it to pull it out before they you know.
So we talk about communication.
Yeah.
And it's only fair, right, that since we talk about communication, that we communicate that all of this requires work.
All of it.
And requires effort, right? And again, if you don't have the time, right? If you don't have the desire, if you don't have the innate will,
yes, sir,
then is to me it's just noise.
It just
you can say it's your opinion. I get it, right? But
it is just noise. It is.
It's just noise, right? Because that opinion wouldn't be right or wrong. It would just be yours, right? It would just be.
But in real life, God, it's noise because at a certain point in time, the yelling don't work.
It's noise. Yeah, it's all noise. Yeah.
You know, it doesn't work. It's just you're not in fear of it anymore.
Yeah, it's not penetrating no more. Yeah.
It becomes normal. And if all it was just don't do this because I'm saying don't do it, but I ain't learned nothing else from it, and there was no consequence, then when we look at in life, we learn the most from things that have consequence.
That's a hell of a thing, man, right? So you got two sides. You got the hands-on approach and the let's have a conversation approach. You know, one, you get shock value. And the lesson is the shock value, not necessarily the lesson of what the shock value is supposed to teach. The other one, you get a bunch of words, but not so much shock value. So it's tricky. So and that one requires you, the parent or the person that's exemplifying the. I guess I'm gonna use the word better character. I guess
That's
to have a
cool.
lot of patience and a lot of and a lot of will, and you gotta want to be like Jesus the Christ.
Man, you gotta try.
you gotta.
You gotta try.
I just
That's
thought
all.
about that. I
That's
just
all
thought.
I'm saying. I ain't
I
been
just,
asking people to do nothing but just try. Just try. Like
I just thought about that.
try. You know, if anybody truly, believes and subscribes to that story, okay, and that faith, then I ask anybody who does that, okay,
Yeah,
or takes anything from it, do they think a person that died, that sacrificed everything in a world where they thought he wasn't perfect, that's why they killed him, for his desire to be perfect and treat everybody fairly, treat everybody with love and respect. You know what I'm saying?
that guy had to die.
Right? He had to die.
That guy had to die.
The dude who's gonna love you unconditionally, who's gonna
He's
give
the
you
one we got.
bread.
He's the one we got to kill. Yeah, he feed everybody with bread and fish. That guy got to go.
That's wild. So, you know what I'm saying? So understanding that dynamic of it, it's like, okay, even that dude, was treated horribly. So I shouldn't expect nothing in
Damn,
this.
bro.
I shouldn't be surprised at anything in this life. Okay. I shouldn't be surprised at anything.
Not at all.
I could still have my feelings, have my feelings hurt the way, because I love the way I love. You know what I'm saying? I could still have my feelings hurt and all that. But to stay grounded, I gotta understand that, like, even that person who would die for everybody, somebody still found a reason that something that he did they ain't like, so they wanted to kill him. Okay. So in understanding it from that perspective, it's like, man, like, why be surprised?
Yeah.
Why even be surprised? You could be disappointed, because you desire communication, because if we get to a maturity level where we understand, like, man, we should be able to talk about things, because, like, we ain't out here trying to fight nobody. We ain't out here trying to shoot nobody. We ain't out here trying to beat up nobody. If we got some differences or something, we trying to sit down like men and women and adults and humans, mature people, and communicate. Period.
Everybody that I love, I have tried or am trying or willing to try to resolve whatever problem exists, right? And at the same time, because I love you, I'm willing to, again, like I said, love you from a distance, right? Love you from afar, because just because I'm ready don't mean that you're ready. And I have to love you enough to wait for you to be ready, to grow up or be where, not be where I'm at, but be where we can be on the same, can recognize the same symbols and signs and stuff like that, right? Where, because it's not a comparison of better, higher, or lower. It's just a matter of frequency, right? Like, you're either on this frequency or you're not. It's not a I'm vibrating on a higher frequency, so I'm better.
Never.
No, right? Like, it's like
Never.
I'm on the wave I'm on, and you on the wave you on, and in the process, like, there's the spots where they get to know each other, right? And you might be able to make a beat based on where they intermingle at, but that's not the point. Those might just be two separate beats for two separate songs, right? They might not be, how y'all do it in what y'all call it, stacking.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It might not be
Mm-hmm.
another thing, right? It might be a different track altogether.
Right. I get that. I'm working on that, God. That's something, that's something I'm working on, because I'm one of them people that's just like, man, if I ain't never did you fucked up, you know what I'm saying? You got one time to clean real shit. If I ain't never did you fucked up, and I will, you know what I'm saying? I know I will bend over backwards, you know,
Yeah, nah, I feel you.
and
I feel
then,
you. I feel you.
then I ain't, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like what people I love, everybody that I love like that, they can say that. Like they can profess that. They can't say, if you ask anybody that I know I love, what have Pearl ever done for you? You know what I'm saying? They
Yeah.
have a list of shit. Everybody have a list.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then I bet you if you ask any of them what have they ever done for me, I bet you my list is way longer than they list for me. I can guarantee it, because that's how I love.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if I ain't no good, then I ain't no good to you. Then no, don't get back to me. The only people that I would extend that for is a woman. I ain't lying. And I gotta
And
be in love with that woman.
I was about to,
Okay.
I was about to be clear.
And I gotta be in love with
I
that
was
woman.
about to,
Yeah.
not a woman,
No.
my woman, right?
No,
Like
my woman today,
yeah,
yes.
the woman
But
I'm
what I'm
dealing with.
yeah,
The,
but I'm just
like,
saying,
yeah,
it's
that
since it's
woman.
in general,
Yeah. Or
right?
that person, or my person, my partner,
Yeah,
in
like that's
general.
it. That's
Yeah,
it.
like besides that, like I'm
That's
not
it.
interested.
Because I know you do, and I get this from you. You strive for effective communication within your relationship. So I strive for that too. When from where we met, our relationship is built on truth. That's where our relationship came from. Okay,
Right.
that's where it's rooted from. All right, and everybody else that I met in that same place, that's where that relationship is rooted from.
True.
Okay, so with that, that is the foundation for which this relationship is built on. Once it ain't no more of that, then I would suggest that you have to reevaluate. I would suggest that. I would suggest that you have to reevaluate. So, because that would be fair, because I would be doing the same thing. When it comes to a woman that you have committed to, that you saying yes, like, man, you don't want that person to go nowhere. Like, and that's a person that I could say has done more for me.
Correct.
So if I could say that person has done more for me, and then I'm cross comparing that person with somebody else who stuff don't stack up.
Nah, get out of here.
Come on, that's an easy decision.
Easy. Yeah.
That's an easy decision. Especially when you help me make it. So, you said something last show, like people make decisions, rush to decisions, rush to things, and don't think about the other side. They don't think about the response all the time. And you're absolutely correct. That's a fact. So, that communication is important, and it shouldn't be misunderstood. It should be good, and anytime we try and make it bad, that's being manipulative, especially if you're doing it on purpose. So, I'm like, hey, let's talk about everything, especially in relationships, like personal
That's where I'm
relationships.
at.
You gotta
Let's
talk
talk.
about everything.
Let's talk about everything. Let's talk about it, man. Like, let's talk about it to where so we don't have to talk about it, right? Like, I don't. Yo, man. Like we live in a society now where like cats got partners that they don't necessarily know if if they friends or they lovers will turn state's evidence or not, right? Like will they testify against you in court, right? Like like cats walking around talking about, I don't know, like what you mean? Like, this is your partner, this is your man, like this is your friend, this is somebody that you know. You don't know if they'll testify against you in court.
Stupid.
Like
Stupid. Stupid. You know, I mean, if you gotta know that, then you just don't, stay away from that person. Then, if you don't know that, my advice to you, if you don't know that, stay away from that person. Okay, real talk. Because I got buddies that I told you I wouldn't get in the car with today. You know,
100%.
but I
100%.
but I absolutely would not tell on them.
Ever.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Ever.
I ain't built like that. Like I don't have that in me. I used to be the one getting the beating for lying all the time when we was
Mm.
kids. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else done told I'm still lying because I'm like I'm gonna get the same ass whooping, but I ain't giving y'all the satisfaction. They lying, you know what I'm saying? Like they telling the truth.
Correct.
So now that's one of the reasons why I said now I try to live truthfully all the time, especially with people I love. I don't care about telling a lie, a white lie for something that is going to be beneficial, especially if it's going to be beneficial to me. And if it's beneficial to me, then what does it end up doing? It end up helping some more people that I love. Okay. So I don't have no complex about it. I
Mm-hmm.
understand, you know, but when it comes to people that I actually sincerely love and value, I'm gonna give you the truth because some shit probably hurting me and bothering me because I want you to do something because I got an expectation of some shit,
Correct.
to keep it honest.
Th-
Because I probably got an
Again, another
expectation.
you gotta keep saying it right to keep it honest,
Yeah,
right? Because that's what it comes down to. And again, this should only be like a small handful of people that we really do have expectations for, like real ones,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like everybody else, they should kind of be like casual expectations, like like if you turn out to be a good person, that's cool. Um, but I shouldn't expect you to give me a loan or nothing like that. I shouldn't expect you to not, pick my pocket or like somebody took my glasses, right, at work. Somebody took like it's like some like random stuff, like
It's crazy.
right, like it's just
Just took the
random.
glasses. They brought them back.
Nah, I had to buy some new ones. Like I had to buy some new ones.
What kind of frame? What kind of frames was it?
Oakley's. Like it wasn't that
They
crazy. Like
put
it was,
some Oakleys though.
yeah, like some Oakley's.
They
Like
were some
they
nice Oakleys though. They
it
must have
was,
been
it was
nice.
nice.
Yeah, they were nice. No sleep. I
But
ain't sleeping on Oakley now. They but
nah, but
I'm
it's
just saying like that.
yeah, like I don't know, man. Like it's
That's wild.
it's just
That's wild. Like I don't even. That's just wild. It's like that's not even a place where anybody should be stealing. There, don't everybody get paid?
but it
You feel
happens,
me?
but it happens all the time though, right?
It's wild.
I remember somebody put some money on my desk and somebody took $20 from my keyboard, and I went to my supervisor to get him to like make an announcement to everybody, like, hey, we got a thief amongst us or something like that or whatever. He scolded me for having money on my desk. He's like, why would I tempt people? As if I did something wrong, right? I'm like, damn, that's interesting. Like we live in that world where the
Forget
wrong
about
thing.
the integrity
Like we live in that world. Okay.
of the office. Forget the integrity of the office. Why do you have this money here?
Why do you have this money here in the first place?
What? Why do you have? What are you doing with that? With so much money on you at work? Like, this, like you gonna make me fill out an IRS form? I was trying to collect money for the fundraiser for the daggone office, and somebody's stealing. So
And somebody stealing, right? And but that's easier to ask me those questions because it puts the onus back on me to do the work to make sure that I don't do something versus my supervisor now having to make a memo and go tell his supervisor. And like nobody wants to do the work, bro. Everybody is looking for the easy button Everybody is just not. I can't say everybody. That's bad communication. The majority of us are looking for the easy button for everything.
Yeah, yeah, I see that.
Right, and we're failing at communication because we're lying a lot.
Sometimes I think something wrong with me because I don't be looking for the easy button.
Like if it's easy, I kind of don't want it. Right, like it's kind of like when you meet a person for the first time. Right, if it's easy, it's like so they probably do this a lot. I kind of don't, unless you like easy. I don't. Um, I like to earn what I partake in. I like to know that I'm valuing like my because when you value something, that means that all your time that it took for you to get it, you value. You
Yeah,
you value your effort. You value your preparation. You value everything,
the whole experience.
the whole experience.
The whole experience. The ups, the downs, the highs, the lows, the bad times, the good times. Yes.
Yeah,
You value
yeah,
the whole thing and you happy to see where it's going, the where it has the potential to go.
yeah.
And you also happy to see what work you got to do to try to get it there. So if
Correct.
still there's some more work that need to be done to get it there, then you with that. You not you don't give up. You know what I'm saying? You
Correct.
don't quit on it.
Yeah.
You stay loyal to it.
Correct. You don't let your disappointment turn you into a failure, right? Like
Right.
you analyze the situation and what it is, and whatever you can resolve, you resolve it, and whatever you can't, you cut it out. Right.
Yeah. That's that self-reflection and that's communicating with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we gotta talk to ourselves to get it together too. So it's all relative. It's definitely all relative. I'm gonna pull up this E.L. Henderson back again. Peace, family.
Hey, appreciate the patronage. Thank you very much, brother.
E.L. Henderson says, who do we designate as the holder of factual information? And do we vet who communicates this complete information? Who do we designate as the holder of factual information? Well, whoever is presenting something to you is either coming with the facts
Or their
or
opinion,
or some bullshit. Yeah.
right?
So
Because a
you
fact
gotta
is based off something, right? So
mm-hmm.
so if I'm bringing something to you, I would have to say, well, based off my research, X, Y, and Z, or based off the analysis, dot, dot, dot. It's based off of some experience. It's based off of either it's based off of something that I've done personally, or based off something that I've seen done, or whatever, right? Like it's real, whatever is based off of that I'm saying.
Right.
So it doesn't matter if I use all the words right or not. What I'm saying is based off of something that's real versus this is what I think. That's just what I think. It's not even peer reviewed. It wasn't even what me and my homeboy came up with,
Right.
which
Right.
which I think have more validity than this is what I think.
Right. Right. I agree with that. To add to that, what you said, to kind of clear something up, like it's factual based. So even if it is, it doesn't matter if it's an accusation or not. Is it
Yeah,
fact? You hurt my feelings. All right. Now that's a fact coming from that person. They just have to share with you how you hurt their feelings.
they just have to share with you how, and you have to accept that.
Right. You have to accept it, but that's in communication,
Yeah,
you know. And if you accept it, then you don't, you know, like it's not about who, it's not about if you have to vet it or not. Okay.
So I think you vet it at that point if you
You do
accept it.
well, well, not really, because
Maybe.
who who do we vet? Who do we vet that we don't care about? We never in situation like people not gonna be bringing stuff to you that you don't care about anyway. Like let's say, like I give an example. I'm in Walmart. Somebody comes up to you and says that man over there is stealing. So
Word.
I don't work here. Right.
I don't work nowhere over here.
Right, like I don't care. I don't care about the holder of the information. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? I'm not
yeah,
trying to
yeah,
vet
yeah.
what she talking about. I don't care about the communication or nothing. I'm trying to get my stuff and get up out of there and not even get caught up in that. Even like, lady, why you even telling me about this? Okay. But
you're also not a chatty patty, right? And because I think somebody else might be on some old for real who see, and they want to go tell somebody else and spread the word. I don't know.
but
Yeah.
I'll entertain the lady, right? But I'm
Mm,
not gonna entertain what she's saying though. Like that don't make sense. But
yeah,
I'm,
yeah.
you know,
So I
kind
got
of
you.
like I'm
I
gonna
got you.
entertain her. Like, what? Like for real, they over there. Like, what you get? What you take? You know, like what? Like, you ain't asked me to get you nothing. You know what I'm saying? You know, like I'll do that on my way out the door.
Got
But
it.
you know, but how I'm feeling is just like, you know, like deep. My truth is like I don't can't give a shit. You
About
know,
it at all. Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't give
yeah.
a shit at all. Now, if somebody I care about and I love presents something to me, then yes, I'm going to automatically believe that they are telling me the truth until I
Mm.
have a reason to think that they are lying. But I do that because I am anticipating our communication so we can correct whatever's going on. Okay. So that's my train of thought. It don't matter who it comes from, especially if it's somebody that I love, because I know that I have been a person in the past where certain things don't. I've grown to learn that just because it doesn't bother me doesn't mean it don't bother somebody else. And when you understand that, then now you can have a little bit more compassion for when things that you do that you don't have any ill will or any ill intent, people receive as such. And then you need to have a conversation about it so that way things can be complete. You need to have communication about it so things can be
Yeah.
complete. But when you don't have the communication, then you know, ain't nothing to complete. So that's where I'm like, designate as a holder, like whoever is
Mm.
bringing you this information
Yeah.
is the designee of the information. They got it,
They
and
got it.
they bringing it to you saying, hey, this is what's going on with me, you know. And you know, now the thing is are they trying to talk? If they ain't trying to talk, and it's just like, but this was wrong with me, and fuck you, I don't want to talk to you about it. Are they on that shit? Or are they on like, this was wrong with me, and now I want to communicate and find out, you know, how we resolve this, or is there any resolve, or where was you at when you did this, or what did you mean by this? What, you know, help me understand. Now it's trying to get to an understanding. That's what we talking about, effective communication.
And that's where I would say we cannot agree to disagree.
Once we get to the effective communication, yeah, then we shouldn't be agreeing to disagree. But you never know the type of people that you're dealing with. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I say understanding is important, because like what are we disagreeing about? Right? What is
Man, most of the time when you get the shit like that, if you have, I've found that most of the time if you have a conversation with somebody, if you're willing to say, you know what, yes, I did this, and I apologize. I know I was, blah blah blah. I did not. It was not my intent to make you feel that way, or however you took it or whatever, and you sincere about it. Then the only way they're gonna know is if you sincere. And shout out to my therapist. She knows who she is. If they do it again, you see, then you know that they didn't value your feelings, that they didn't value your person, they didn't value that experience that you shared with them that made them feel devalued or whatever it was. They didn't. Now, if you share with them and you are sincere in your reconciliation and it happens again, now that's clear to that person that that person is non-genuine in how they feel about you or anything. But if you don't allow that person that opportunity, the reason why relationships that last is because those people have patience with each other, and they are willing to do that, are willing to see if this is just a one-on-one or this going to be a repetitive thing.
Bro, one of the hardest things to accept is everybody has the right to let you down.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah, I agree with that.
Like that's essentially what your therapist is saying. Like I came to that conclusion a while back, right? And it helped me. That's why I say like the only belief I have is in myself, right? When it comes to everybody else, I accept humans to be humans, and with that comes humanity, right? So I tend to think that people are telling me the truth for the most part all the time. People that I love and care about, even people that I don't love and care about, I think they're telling me the truth. But it comes down to if it matters to me or not.
Yeah, because it only matters to people you care about. Like,
right, like if what they're saying doesn't matter to me, then it just doesn't matter, whether I care about them or not.
What people I care about, bro, it take a point. Like once I get to a point where I don't care about you no more, then yeah, it don't matter what you're saying. But if I care about you and I love you for real, then I care about it.
Yeah,
I have to because
you can't do nothing dangerous. You can't do nothing to hurt yourself if I care about you.
Like, no. You don't kill yourself. You don't hurt yourself.
You can't do anything. No. There'll be no way you can't be an Amy Winehouse around me talking about you don't want to go to rehab and
while I'm smoking rocks.
Nah, son. Like I can't love you and you need to be in rehab and I don't make you go to rehab, or I don't take you to rehab, or I don't help convince you to go to rehab or something to help you. If I'm unable to do that, I wouldn't be comfortable being around you, right? Because I would want to fix that situation. I would want to, I would, and that may not be fair to you, right? Because
they just want to get high,
or whatever your reason is, right?
Or be depressed or whatever, or whatever.
And
they don't want the help. They don't want the help.
And people have that right to not want the help. They have the right to feel their feelings. They have the right to not be ready yet.
For what?
Effective communication.
Oh, okay.
Because again, right? Because
what they not ready for, God?
Because it all comes down to work, bro. Like
I feel that.
If bumping your gums only meant that it came with a sore throat and a bag at the end of it. Like everybody would just be doing it because you don't have to do anything. Like the work is bumping your gums, right? But if you're speaking words into power, right, so to speak, and you believe in the words that coming out of your own mouth, right? You are affirming yourself daily, saying that I am this and I will that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a whole lot of accountability.
Yeah.
Just looking in the mirror, right? There ain't even nobody else.
Yeah, who else gonna give you that though? You gotta give yourself that out the door, like off the
but
wake up. You gotta give yourself that just to encourage
But a
yourself,
lot of
just to not quit on yourself.
people are not though. A lot of people are not. A lot of people are turning on the news in the morning. A lot of people are listening to Ricky Smiley in the morning. A lot of people are listening to Charlemagne and those are their reflections, so to speak.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, that's
And
unfortunate. Like the
and
music
that's yeah,
and
like the music.
the TV shows, the shows that show the ratchivity.
The
You
ratchet.
know? You know, it's all about the ratchivity, you know, where it's like if he ain't doing, you know, all those narratives that's just
Yeah. Because they're just narratives, because they're not yes, they have some truth, and yes, I know some ratchet people, but I don't know. And when I say no, like I don't know a bunch of ratchet people, right? Like um that I associate with, like family. I don't count, right? Because you can't. I mean, I guess you could disassociate with family, but
oh God.
I'm
Oh,
just saying, like,
I heard some stories.
yeah, yeah, like I don't count the ratchet family relationships. I'm talking about like your peer group of choice, right? Like I don't know any. I don't just like I don't have any friends that are deadbeat dads that don't take care of their children.
You
I
know,
I, I don't know those guys, right? I'm sure that they exist.
yeah,
I'm
they exist.
I'm sure that the baby daddy stuff is real. I'm sure of that,
It's real.
right? However, I only know grown ass men, right? I don't know. I might know of some bums,
Right, right.
but I don't know them,
Yeah, like
right?
you ain't hanging with them.
Like you wouldn't want to hang with me. You
Right.
wouldn't
Right.
you wouldn't want to hang with me. Like yeah, you ain't paying like child support. Like what? You're not just taking care of your kid. Like
Plain and
like
simple.
like like
Plain and
somebody got
simple.
to make you take care of a thing that you did.
Right. You know, like none of this stuff you've seen, you haven't been inspired by. You haven't even been inspired by the Hunter Biden scandal. Like that's at least him and his son keeping it gangster across
Keeping
the
it
world.
gangster.
Like,
Yo,
like it's something you can pull from it, or is it just you know, like we was talking about the Trump with the sunshine and the bleach. Like everybody just pull from the communication they want to pull from. Just take the bad stuff. Don't even investigate the sunshine. You know, take the bad stuff. Hunter Biden and his dad is the president, and he's the most powerful. Biden is the most powerful man in America, right? On the planet, and his
on
son
the planet.
and his son on the planet Earth, and his son is just doing things as he wants across the nation, and you know what I mean. So it's
Who
like,
could stop him, right?
who can stop the Bidens? You know, so when they running it like that, and then people eating it up instead of, you know, like, man, you know, that would be, it ain't no guarantee, but it's like it's still something to be like, you know what, that's not bad. Even trying to think of the idea of if I have a son or a daughter, somebody that we have a family business that they can just on that notion, not even, not even trying to compare it, but just looking at the idea of it, like, damn, what if me and my kids was on that? Or what if me and my brothers, what if me and my cousins and we was, you know what I'm saying? What if my family was like the Kennedy family where they got all this, or they got the, like we got those type of things that we can take as examples, but it seems like it's easier from those communications to take the other stuff, to take the Rothschild, Rockefeller, Illuminati stuff and run with that instead of looking at what they do, what type of philanthropy, what type of stuff. Can we still set up and do this stuff today? Can you still go out and make a trust? Can you still put your business in a trust name and then pay your children this amount of money per year and these things? Can you still? Yes, you can still do all these things. We still have all these tools that we were not taught.
Not taught.
Okay. That we can go learn and we can apply.
All those tools, again, right? Use words that require work.
And they require work, right?
Because a tool means I got to do something. Not only do I got to learn it, I got to perfect it.
Yeah.
Right. Otherwise, I might bang my finger.
Yeah.
And we're dealing with a group of people who that all of our the religion has stalled us. Our education system has stalled us. Our politics has stalled us. Our family structures are broken down, and have stalled us, right? Like, it's a whole bunch of things stalling progression, bro. Right? And it's all just bad communication. It's all bad messaging. It's all just
bad behavior.
Bad
signs, bad symbols. A lot of stuff, a lot of
and then you couple the badness on top of the misappropriation and the misunderstanding, right? Because we can both look at a painting, but if I look at it from this angle, you look at it from that angle, like our perspectives are different. It's looking at the same thing, but we just naturally got different viewpoints. And for whatever reason, my viewpoint and your viewpoint means we got to fight instead of just coming over to your side and seeing how you looking at it, right? If it matters.
If you invite me.
Right? Right? So that's two things, right? Two things. I gotta invite you, and it gotta matter.
Yeah. Well, it don't have to. It already mattered if you brought it up.
100% facts.
Because you wouldn't have brought it up if it didn't matter.
100% facts.
You see? So once I acknowledge that it matters, then now you have the ability to communicate. And if you choose not to, then the shit probably really don't matter to you. That's what the person will have to assume because you don't even want to talk about it.
Yeah.
So why should I give a fuck? That's not fair. That's not fair, bro.
No. That's 100% fair.
Okay, right, that's all. Because that's all we doing is fair. It's still love there, but I'm just saying, like, you just being fair. Like,
no, like, again, all this stuff is
because that's communication. Like, that would be effective communication. What you just said was like, if you brought it to the person, they received it. You cared. You communicated it. You cared enough to bring it to them. You brought it to them. Mm-hmm. Once they received it, did they say, how did they treat it when they received it? Did they receive it like, okay, I give you a perfect example. at one point in time, long time ago, long time ago, I was in a relationship. Somebody said, blah blah blah. And now I'm like, you don't feel like that. That's some bullshit. Okay, you don't need to feel like that. That's some bullshit. You shouldn't even feel like that. All right, this is a woman.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, not understanding feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Not understand. You know, and you know what I mean when I say that, right? Not understanding feelings, I was dismissive.
100%.
And you know, and unopen to effective communication. Because
Correct.
I did not realize that when that person was communicating, how I needed to respond so we could get to effective communication, so we could get past it.
Correct.
Okay. I know better now. Okay. So my actions are reflective every time. If you bring it to somebody and they say they don't want to talk, and you cared enough about it to bring it to them to make them aware, then why did you care? Why did you stop caring that you wanted to make them aware? Why did you make them aware, but then you didn't want any resolve? You know what I'm saying? So that shows like you just really want to be a fucking victim. That's the way I would assume to look at it, because you don't want to have a clear communication with the person who could admit that there's some truth to your gripe, to your concern. So if if that person can admit, who you take it to, that is some truth to your concern, that's effective communication. They're still trying to communicate effectively, and they being humble, and they being compassionate, and they being sensitive to your feelings. Plain and simple. That's what they exemplify, because they were receptive. If they dismissive and they saying, like I have been in the past, I know it, where it's like, why you tripping off that? That's some shit you don't even need to be tripping off of. Like, that is why you even thinking like that. You know what I'm saying? Instead of listening.
Yeah.
And then openly apologize and leaving the floor open so that way there can be more dialogue to come in.
More dialogue. You keep wanting more work. More work. It takes effort, bro. That's it. And that's I'm with it. I'm with it. I'm with whatever I gotta go through to go from over here to over there.
Facts.
Right.
And if we ain't going together, I see you on the other side.
I'm still trying to get over there.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm with all that. And I realized on this journey, thinking the way that I think and moving the way that I move, it's not a lot of us. It's a lot of us, but we are spread out. We ain't close enough together, right? And there's a lot of do nothings a lot closer together. There's a lot of talkers a lot closer together. There's a lot of Pied Pipers a lot closer together, right? Like everybody wants to be the preacher or the pastor of the church because that position looks good.
Man, that's crazy. That's crazy.
You know, like
that's crazy, but it is definitely what we see in communication. And you know, we do encourage people to examine how you communicate with, you know, with people we love, and people that we value, you know, even the people I don't like, even like when we was talking about that Walmart scenario, like I could have in the past been like, what, lady? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you know, but even now, just being a more, you know, just trying to be a little bit more socially engaging, to where I'm still in control. Like, nah, I'm not about to go and call the security guard, all that, because like you could have took that to them. Why you brought it to me?
Mm-hmm.
You know, so
Yeah.
obviously I'm just gonna entertain, have a little conversation, and
Yeah.
going on back about my life, going on about my business. But we,
And even on a saying, to use my Cold Stone scenario, right? Like, you can, it is perfectly fine to not engage,
yeah, yeah,
right? Like, it is perfectly acceptable to know yourself and keep yourself within bounds,
yeah,
right? And that's why I say, right, like, just because somebody call your name, you don't have to respond, right? You have that choice and that option to turn around and says, yes, what do you want, or whatever, right? But how you do that, like, it's like you said something earlier, like you got to focus on the how. I ain't gonna lie, fam, like that joint is super tricky. I had to actually set up a recorder to record some of my conversations just so I can play it back to hear my own self. Um, so I can understand, right? Because we don't even use the word understanding correctly, right? Because just because you told me something, that that doesn't mean I understood it.
yeah.
Just because you showed it to me, just like that, none of that matters, right? Like, it doesn't matter till it matters,
Till application,
right? Like, that's what it matters, right? So you can apply
application.
it.
Yeah,
You can apply it. That's when your communication was effective.
yeah,
Just because you spoke slowly and you enunciated and used proper diction and all this other crap,
yeah,
um, means nothing, right?
yeah, yeah. Because think about if you play sports, right? You had plenty of people that excelled in sports, and the coach yelled at them all the time, "Move your ass, move, 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 move. Why you ain't in class, boy? Boy, get to class for you." You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
like
yeah,
always yelling, coach
yeah,
always yelling at you know, Earl, run. Where you go? Earl, where you Earl? Earl, Earl. You know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, like you have people who influence you and they communication style
yeah,
was not the most gentle and compassionate and concerning of your feelings and everything else. You know, it's just knowing when to apply it.
there's no one to apply it.
And
No
that's
one
the
to.
and that's sometimes like we was talking about last year, like yeah, I go too far sometimes too. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you gotta know when to apply it, you know what I'm saying? Know when it's warranted, know when to dial it down, you know, and the only people who really make you feel like that is people that you love. That's it.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
people you don't care about, you wouldn't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? That at least for me.
Yo, you're 100% right. Because the Cold Stone dude only matters for content, really.
Yeah. Like he
Um,
ain't he don't change
because
nothing in life.
because we didn't even have a conversation about him in the truck, right? It was it was like pulling teeth. It was like, yo, so I handled that okay, right? Like, y'all don't think I should have punched him in his face, right? Like, y'all don't think I look like I was soft, right? Like
Cause you
it
had a
was no
conversation
it
with
was no it was no conversation about that.
yeah, like nah, we eating everybody eating. We eating ice
Like,
cream. We
eat ice
enjoying
cream, bro.
we enjoyed what we showed up for. Like wasn't fan we wasn't worried about him being there or him staying there.
And cause
Yeah.
and I'm telling you, man, as soon as he started singing his song, it seemed like we all just tuned out and was like, oh yeah. Uh, it felt like being back in Brooklyn. You just be on a train and you got a bunch of nuts just doing their thing. Like, you got to be on the train. Like, if you miss this train, if you don't take this train, you about to 100% be late to wherever you going. You just got to deal with these cats and don't make eye contact.
That's a horrible feeling for New Yorkers. I hope my favorite New Yorker never has to feel that way.
Right? But you know, it's crazy because like I feel like that's a horrible thing for New Yorkers, but like old New Yorkers is like that's just like some New York ish, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, they used to
it's
it.
just
Know the whole thing. Maybe not this car.
yeah,
Couple cars down.
you change cars, right? Like
Yeah. Oh, sure. I got schooled. I know the game. I got
yeah,
schooled.
no, like oh they bugging over here. Yeah, let's change cars. Yeah, nah, fam. Nah, this was a good one, man. Communication is key. Is important. Is important to. I think it's important to know when we're not having it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's important to distinguish the noise from communication. Right. I think it's important to be clear in our communication. Right. Be honest in our communications. Right. Say what it is that you want and say what your real desire is up front. Um, don't try to hold nothing. Like don't play politics with your loved ones, right? Like if I can see your feet from behind the curtain, don't tell me to ignore the person behind the curtain. Like I can see your feet, right? That's all I got, man. Like because it's more than just talking, right? Communication, because it's body language, is sign language, is a bunch of different ways to do that. Um, and it's not too many. It's not too many ways to do it right. Right? It's pretty much just one way to do it right.
Yeah, to just jump into
Like
it
you say, like
head
I'm
first.
thinking about it. I'm thinking about it. Like
Yeah,
it ain't too many ways to do it right. Like it's only just a right way to communicate.
how
It's
does
just,
how does the military do
bro, like it's redundancy,
it? Okay,
right? Like
and about practicing and
it's redundancy. Like it's like even in the practice is redundancy, but in the practice you practice redundancy because I say you copy, you repeat to clarify. Like it's are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. Are you sure you sure? Yes, I'm sure you sure. Okay, got it, good. Go do
right.
your thing.
And
Um,
when we communicating with others, trying to get to some resolve, trying to find a solution, trying to fix it, trying to, heal situations, it's the same thing. It's trying to make sure that that it's received,
yeah,
that the communication is received.
yeah.
And you know,
But in the military, to that example, right? We all have a mission to get home, even though our homes are separate, right? To we have a unified goal. Ironically, that unified goal is not set by us; it's set by somebody else.
hmm
Ironically, it is not our own ambitions that we are striving for, but that of somebody else's. Um,
I don't know, a little,
well, no, I'm talking
not
about it.
not all the way,
I'm
not all
talking
the way.
no, I'm talking about in reference to the mission itself.
The communication, I got you.
Yeah, I'm talking
I
about in
got
reference to the mission.
you. I got you. My bad. We was not. I got you. We mess around and go deeper. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, you right. You right for sure. For
Right.
sure.
But when it comes to our interpersonal, we like to take shortcuts that that are not allowed in a professional setting, or not allowed. Not that's not allowed. That's not preferred or not acceptable in a professional setting, or on a setting where lives are on the line, where your mortality is on the line, should I say? Because
Man, in logistics, you can't do it. In ordering and supply, you gotta have
yeah,
perfect communication. So like you gotta have effective communication across the board in anything in order for any relationship or situation to work.
yeah,
So you gotta do that work unless you just don't value situation. Like We value the work because we getting a paycheck. So even though the rules are set by them, we still are going
The paycheck.
yeah, like we still gonna do whatever's necessary. We're gonna try
Yeah.
to communicate as effectively as we can to get that job done, to get that role, whatever is expected of us, because whatever is expected of us, right? Because we need that paycheck. So I value my wife. I value our relationship.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do whatever is expected of us to communicate
Ooh.
so we can keep that going on because I value that relationship because our happiness is that paycheck.
Yeah, and that's what I was about to say, right? Like you got to figure out what that paycheck is in that value, um, because it got to be worth it, right? Because yeah, yeah, the happiness is the paycheck, right? It's not the yeah.
So that's what we doing. Like and
And
everybody else,
y'all both got to be working towards that, right?
we
Like
both. It takes us both. Yeah, I can't.
take
You can't do it alone. You can't
yeah,
do that. We can't, bro. You can't go in there and do what you do by yourself.
nah.
You know what I mean? Like it's the operation's too big. It's bigger than just us.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You know. So it's like no, like and that's what we tell you. Like if it ain't no value, then you got to be able to
yeah,
see that and be like, all right, this ain't worth. All right, so it ain't worth no value to you. Okay, ain't that all right? Hey, surprise to me, news to me, news to me. You know what I'm saying? I could have swore it just was before, but whatever. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
that's
Nah,
how. So that's how we.
I don't
So
have
that
my heart broken a few times on that. So yeah, I know how you feel.
you know.
Where I
So
thought there was value and I had a rude awakening
yeah, news to
and
me.
ironically I walked away from a situation because I realized that my value was different from everybody else's
Yeah,
and and I value my value more.
yeah, yeah. That's everybody entitled to that.
All right, so I had to remove myself because I value my value more.
Yeah, that's okay.
Right.
Yeah,
Which is important, right? Because they're your values and there's no right or wrong per se, but they're just yours, right? And it's only right and wrong if you are true or not true to those values, I think.
yeah, that's cool. I rock with that. Just I just say like I add to that and say like when we communicate with people, we gotta remember how we treat people. You know,
Yeah.
and um it's a reflection of you how you treat people, man, especially people that you say you love. So it's a reflection of you to them and
Yeah.
how and to how they perceive you. I ain't even gonna say perceive you because you're really dealing with them, so
Yeah.
it's not fake. And if they don't see where the values are in it, it don't matter whether it's a friendship or a marriage.
Now all the chips are the same, bro. Like
Yeah, like it don't matter.
once you say value and once you say once you once you can say things like happiness is the paycheck,
Yeah, that's the
right?
paycheck.
Like that puts everything in a different realm of understanding because now now you can be like algebra, right? And just put things make this meet X and this is now Y and it'll all work out the same way. So it like I put in the book, bro, I want to take away all excuses.
All excuses, right?
So you really just got to say, I don't want to grow my own food.
All right.
Say that.
I know. It's
Say
but
that.
but
Don't say, oh man, I wish I had more space. Ah man, if I only had more time. Ah man, if I had this. Ah man, ah
yeah,
man, ah man. Don't say that to me because I want to punch you in your throat. Right? Like, because I'm like, yo, do it, son. Do it, son. Like,
Just
dude,
do it.
just do it. Just do
Do
it.
it.
Just do it, right? A
Yeah.
bucket in the
Start.
corner, get a fish tank, get some styrofoam. Like, there's a bunch of different things you can do. Just do it. Say you don't want to do it. Say you waiting on the McDonald's to be the push button that's just an IV. Like you don't even want to chew no more, right? Like you just want it to be
Smoothie, everything. You want to you want to you want prime rib smoothie. You want a prime rib and lobster, asparagus and potato smoothie. Or peel, just the peel. Like,
oh,
yeah.
just a pill, right? Just a pill, right? Just
Ah. You know,
like the Jetsons or something like that, right? Like
yeah,
that's what cats want, man. Like I don't know, man. It's
yeah. It's interesting. It's interesting to see where we going because all the digital stuff is coming. And
yeah, and unless we communicate effectively, we are gonna digitize ourselves out of existence.
oh yeah, it's on the way.
Right.
It is on the way.
Like it's gonna be the surrogates for real. We're gonna all be in virtual reality, just getting fat and hooked up to life support and shit. Because everything's gonna be online. Everything's gonna be metaverse.
That's
Uh,
gonna be them. I'm gonna be in the yard
I'm
somewhere.
gonna be in the fucking yard. Like where I'm at right now. Right, I'm not waiting
Yeah,
for
that's
things
right.
to get bad. I'm
That's
not
right.
waiting for things to get like every food, clothing, shelter, and the protection of that. Those are the actual factual foundations, right?
Yeah,
Every human being, right, gotta eat, gotta drink, gotta have clothes, gotta have shelter, right? And they gotta be able to protect those things. That has nothing to do with your race. That has nothing to do with your culture. That has nothing to do with your height, your body fat content or nothing like that,
your
right?
identity, your your
How you
religion,
your pronoun or whatever.
nothing.
Nah, like if you are looking and breathing and want to keep looking and breathing, good starts at food, clothing, shelter, and a protection of that. If you don't have that as your base foundation, you are misunderstanding. Right. So we ain't even that bad. If you don't have your foundation, you are not understanding.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
I got like 5%, God. Like I'm blinking over here.
Nah, that's cool. I was gonna end it with that. I was gonna end it with that, but you ain't just cut it. So we gonna end it
Okay.
with that right there. Like if you would have ended right there, that was to drop the mic. I was like, I hopefully just drop the
I'll
mic
be
for him.
knowing. I'll be knowing.
But it's okay. It's okay. That's how we doing because I don't go back and edit it. Um, yeah, we don't edit, we live. So
Word.
it's all love, but you absolutely right. Y'all heard the guy Ali Dawu El. Make sure y'all go over to BK Soul Farm and pick up a copy of the literature 1060 160 self-sustainability 1016 160 self-sustainability. Y'all go get y'all a copy, man. And so y'all can actually understand what the brother was just saying and give you some good jewels, tools, resources, how to, start gardening and growing food. And man, I'm talking about just you won't even need the grocery store no more. I promise you that. You won't even need the grocery store no more. All right. Even though we ain't trying to put the grocery store out of business, but man, y'all prices
No.
is high. And we
The
need
price
some
are high.
alternative solutions. You
We
know,
need options.
yes, we do.
We need good options.
We up. we need to go out in the backyard type options. Or the front, or the side of the house
On the
type.
side, on the front, or the living room.
Or the living room. Talk about it. Yep.
Like, yeah,
But we
God. So
mean that though, man. That's sincere. That's good communication. And we want to thank everybody for joining us as always. Make sure y'all join us here next Sunday. on Cigar Sundays Live.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure to like and share this video. Also, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so that way you can know when CS Live goes live. And we want everybody to have a peaceful, positive, and productive start to their week.
Mm-hmm.
And peace, y'all. We love y'all. Come back and see us. Peace, God.
Peace, God.
It's such an ancient pitch, but one I wouldn't switch, 'cause there's no nicer witch than you.
Slide of that line, what's your name, what's your sign? Is your legs tired, you been running through my mind. You be looking fine, your type really hard to find. You like 1 + 9, do you get it, you a dime, And can I get the digits to your line? Redefine love while I'm picking through your mind. Trying to see what's your interest. Time we should spend this. Turn to real friends before we get down to the business. 'Cause first we need respect and trust and love. Bonnie and Clyde type bond. Till death do us. Your friends all mad and mine too, yup. Wishing that they had a real love like us.
I've been really trying.
Nobody's perfect, but you perfect for me. Anywhere I go with you, feel like the place to be. If I ever got lost, would you wait for me? And if we ain't together, need someone to pray for me. 'Cause I need you. I would never harm, hurt, mislead you. I just wanna please, feed, tease you. Baby, ain't no need for you to leave. I could give you what you need. Start a life together, plant a couple seeds overseas with you. Yeah. Roll a couple trees with you. If you got a battle, baby girl, I'ma bleed with you. Do your dirty deeds with you. Travel through the breeze with you. Real love is all I needs with you.
I've been really trying, baby. Trying to hold back this feeling for so long. And if you feel like I feel, baby, then come on.
You understand the moves that I make in the streets. Understand what I gotta do just to eat. Rub me on my back and say everything is alright. Baby, I'll be right by your side. For life, yeah. I'm just talking about a real love. The type to have your heart filled up. Through the joy and the pain and the sun and the rain and these hoes in the game. I know love makes things happen. And we gon' stick together till the pig wings flapping. Hold on to our love like opposites attracting. Baby, we can make it happen like a chemical reaction.
I've been really trying.